this night, come on baby, take my hand. And we don't need to do the things we don't wanna do.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown. Now, we've had a lot of things presented to you by the Esports Club, but this is where it all takes the cake. We have an international tournament that is brought to you by the Esports Club, and me, alongside Salty, are going to be taking you through the second match of this amazing international event. And to be honest, there's nothing better that gets than this. Salty, I just want to know, what are your thoughts? Because I am so excited and pumped. I've been looking forward to this for a long time now, and I'm pretty sure you are too.
Exactly. It's not just us, universe. I feel like entire audience out there, the entire Valorant community has been eager to see our teams, our homegrown teams, play against the international dogs, play against the international teams who are out there playing. I don't know what whatsoever tournaments there are. They're playing the officials, they're playing VCT, etc., etc., etc. Now we have seen one team do it in the past. We've seen Global Esports go out there and play in the play in the LCQ qualifiers. But right now, this is going to give a platform for the other teams out there. A lot of other teams, including Enigma Gaming, who are going to play today. We have one very interesting team coming in from Bangladesh as well. That is going to be Exceeli Esports. They're going to be playing Enigma Gaming in the second match of the day, of course. And I'm really pumped, universe, because this game looks to be like a matchup. Because Exceeli Esports, a little known fact about them, this is one team that is kind of represented by a very popular, I would say, content creator from Bangladesh, a humongous food vlogger, etc. So I feel like it is where the stakes are going to be really high. A lot of people would come and watch Exceeli Esports play in Enigma Gaming. For them, this is a really great platform to show their mettle, what they've learned from the Indian teams, how they've performed against the Indian teams, and now they take it up a notch and go international.
Indeed, it's something that I think everybody was waiting for to watch how exactly we would see these teams from India participate, and or how they would work against these Southeast Asian teams, and how even we would see Pakistan teams face off against these teams as well, as we saw Exploit play earlier against E2S as well. And that was another banger from us. The first match itself was an absolute thriller to open with, and now we've got the first team from India participating, and it is Enigma Gaming. Now we need to keep some things in mind before we get into this matchup. It
Yeah.
all of this is, it might be right now in the upper brackets. It's the round of 10, but that doesn't mean that you take this easy. Everything is at stake here. It is a $15,000 prize pool here, which has a lion's share of 7,000 to be won as the first place. And to be honest, if you look at the names that we have in this tournament, pretty much anybody and everybody would look like a contention, would look like a team that's up for contention of that $7,000, because, well, the names here: Enigma, Exceeli, PaperX, Velocity, Global Esports. We've got so many big names here. And to be honest, now it's not just, we saw, like you said, we saw only Global Esports on, the SEA stage. We saw them participate against the international teams. Now we get to see what exactly is the level between all of these teams. Because
Yeah.
this is the first of its kind of a tournament where you got all Indian, Pakistan, you got teams from Malaysia, Thailand, everywhere from the ACA participating. And now we actually see who is in what position, because before this, it was only Global Esports who had a taste of international, official matches. Maybe they would have had scrims against each other for sure. These teams definitely do scrim against each other, but to played with stakes like these, I don't think it's happened before. So yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely is going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, pretty sure. I guess the prize pool is really big, 15,000 US dollars. That's a lot of money. And you talked about a lot
Yeah.
of teams out there, right? Talking about teams, I feel like right now it is time for us to look at the bracket, because that is going to give us an idea which teams are going up against each other right now. So we have seen Exploit go for an easy 2-0 victory against Lexus. Right now we're playing Enigma versus Exceeli. In the second round of the upper brackets, we have PaperX versus Team Exploit. Now that is gonna be a matchup, because I mean, PaperX, everybody knows this team. Exploit, they've performed insanely well in the content as well. They've performed really good in other circuits. And I'm pretty sure against PaperX, they're going to be a really, really tough team to beat. We have Velocity, who is going up against Lore. We have Bleed Esports, of course, who are going to play against the winner of this game right now. And after that, we have Alter Ego versus Global Esports.
Yeah, and you can look at this, and every single matchup that is looking that we can see on the screen is basically a mouth-watering, eye-watering, all of anything and everything that you can say, delicious, lip-smacking, matches that we have got in store. Everybody, anybody who even goes further or even goes down to the lower bracket, there's always something that's gonna surprise us, because these are matches that we would have only thought of, happening maybe a couple of months ago, but not even a couple of months ago, even the last month, or the month before that. People could only think, okay, what would actually be the outcome if we ever saw Exploit versus Paper Rex? What would that be like? you know it was just a myth, because we had to go through the qualifiers that we remember from South Asia, and one of it would get through to the spot of LCQs, where there's just one spot available. But now you can see it. Exploit, they won the earlier matchup today, and they're going to be facing Paper X, a opponent that just, well, they've been on the world stage of things, and they are a team that cannot be taken lightly. Whereas Enigma and Exceeli, who are going to be facing off right now, this is a matchup that is going to decide a little bit more in terms of a regional difference. We've seen Exceeli Sports be there in a multiple number of tournaments that's consisted around South Asia, but they haven't really made the mark, such as Velocity, Global, or Exploit, because as even we remember, Exceeli, well, they have a strong team. They are like probably the strongest team from Bangladesh, but when it comes to participating against teams from India and Pakistan, they've not really had their stamp, they've not really made their mark yet. And this could be the beginning of it. You never know. If Exceeli somehow end up beating Enigma today, that's going to give a huge question mark onto this team of Enigma as to what they consider their position in the South Asian region. And things only get more interesting. And Salty, I want to know, what are your thoughts? Do you think Exceeli and Enigma, who do you think might have an upper edge over here, given their recent history?
To be honest, I mean, I would consider Enigma to be like one of the best teams in the country, like along with the likes of Global Esports as well as Velocity. And considering Exceeli and their past performances, they are going to be a tough nut to crack. I feel like the map veto plays a really important key in this one. But if you go about it this way, right? You talked about how Bangladeshi teams haven't had the platform so far to really go up against the top dogs. Right now, it all starts with the platform, right? It doesn't just go in victory, and then you directly go like that. So considering all of that, I feel like there has to be a platform first in this tournament. It provides that platform, and Exceeli Esports, I'm pretty sure that they're going to come up with flying colors. Considering their opponent against Enigma Gaming, I'm pretty sure they can snatch off a map against them. I had a look at the map video, so it's really interesting. But yeah, I mean, considering how things are flowing and considering how Enigma Gaming is stacked up, it should be like a comfortable thing for them. But then again, you cannot really underestimate the likes of Exceeli. Right now, we have the first team on a screen, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Enigma Gaming. We know all these players. We love all these players. Hika, Rexy, Antidote, RVK, and Raw Fuel. Nothing really to talk about them, honestly. These players, they need no introduction, and together I feel like this is what Enigma Gaming dreamed of, universe. Like when they changed their rosters, they dreamt of performances which are going to take them to the next level. And honestly, Antidote and Rexy, their addition has taken this team to the next level as well. RVK, of course, has been a really influential fragger for the team. Rawfield and Hika just complete the team and are all around brilliance. Enigma Gaming is going to be a tough nut to crack in this one.
Yeah, indeed. Enigma Gaming have had this rejuvenation after their roster change came in a couple of months ago, where they honestly struggled in the beginning, not gonna lie. When Rexy, Antidote, and RVK came into the roster, they kind of struggled. Enigma Gaming, they are on a pretty good note. They were on a pretty good high note, to be honest. They were among the top teams in the country. They could have given competition. They were giving competition to Global Esports and Velocity. But after they had their roster change, they kind of, slumped off a bit. And you would expect it, because such a big roster change causes any team to have a little bit of disruption for some time. But then they held on. They climbed on further, and they made sure that they had their footing in a place where they could find exactly what their team needed. And Enigma Gaming right now are probably on their best journey forward. They're, building themselves up straight up from the ground down below. And to face them, we've got this wonderful lineup coming from Bangladesh, Exceeli Esports. And we've got some crazy people here, and one of whom I think a lot of people will recognize from the Indian audience as well. And that's going to be Sami, who used to play for a team T69 that was under Binks. And now he's playing for Exceeli Esports, the one of the best teams to come out of Bangladesh. And to be honest, this team, I think, is a lot of young gun potential. I think they have a lot of, untapped raw power that they need to figure out how to utilize and also exploit against other teams. Because the one thing that I think Exceeli Esports can work on more, given how I've seen them play in a couple of times that I've seen them play, is probably support each other more, like, trade off and communication. Individually, each of these players are just absolutely just freaks, right? Like how Show Freaks has in his own name. Every one of them deserves to have that in his name. But sometimes these guys fall a little short in terms of teamwork, of, doubling up at places and stuff like that. But yeah, I think if they are able to overcome that issue, then for sure, Exceeli Esports are going to be able to take down Enigma, who, by the way, Enigma are a much more team-centric kind of focused team, except for Rawfield, because, well, he's a crazy guy. He is not afraid of anything in the world. He doesn't care if you got 5 players in front of him. He will make sure he takes down one before he goes down to the depths of hell himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure that Rafael and Sammy is going to be an interesting duel to watch out for. But before that, we need something more important to watch out for as well. That is going to be the map Veto. It comes in the screen right about now. The battleground where this interesting matchup is going to be played right off the bat. We have Haven, we have Fracture, we have Icebox, three of the biggest maps in the pool, apart from Breeze, of course. We have Exceeli Esports who have picked up Haven, a very good map, I would say. A very strategically heavy map universe. You kind of mentioned how communication sometimes is lackluster in the side of Exceeli Esports. Now, we might just watch out how that actually pans out as well. In the map of Haven, you need communication. You need top-notch team coordination as well, and top-notch synergy to unlock or probably break the barrier. If you want to break the defensive fortitude of the other team, then you need that synergy to go through as well. You need the perfect fakes, you need the perfect timing for your backstab as well, and everything just synchronizes in perfection. Haven is going to be the key where everything just pans out and we understand where these two teams stand. After the map of Haven, it's going to be more interesting because one of the newest maps in the game, ladies and gentlemen, Fracture, that has been picked up by Enigma Gaming. I was pretty sure that Enigma really want to put the rabbit out of the hat, and well, Fracture, there it is, and not really sure how they've. I mean, I love it too, but I'm not really sure how Enigma Gaming are going to approach the map of Fracture. I haven't seen them play personally. Attack. I mean, Exceeli Esports, they start on attack, so the ball is in their court right now. They might want to get some lead on this map because. If you look at the map on paper, it is sort of like attacking sided, right? And the decider is going to be played on Icebox. Universe, I want to place my money. I want to put my bets on the fact that we will see a third map. We will see Icebox in this one, pretty sure, because right now the way the map pickup has looked like, it might actually go the other team's way. For example, we've seen a lot of times in the Gauntlet as well, where one team wins the map pick of the other team, right? And this might happen in this one as well, because Enigma Gaming, they're not really bad in the map of Haven. I'm not really sure how Exceeli is going to approach the map of Haven. And then Fracture, considering that Exceeli start an attack, it might just give them the edge. It might just give them the edge in competition. And considering it's such a new map, Enigma Gaming might have some chunks in their armor. Not really predicting anything, but just saying there can be moments like these which can cause a lot of changes in the momentum of the game. A best of 3 series, which should really go to the third map. What is your call, Universe?
I'd probably say the same. I think I'm gonna wager my gold, silver, and anything that I have precious kept towards that third map of Icebox, because Enigma picking up Fracture was something I'm pretty sure even Exceeli didn't expect. I'm 100% sure they were gonna be thinking, okay, you know what, we know Enigma. We've seen them play. Bind is one of their best maps. They're probably going to go for Bind. They love Haven as well. We've already picked that. So they would have probably expected a Bind pick unless it was banned earlier on itself. And the pick of Fracture, well, we're going to have to wait and watch out what's going to happen. But before that, we're going to have the agent selection screen come up in front of us in just a bit, as we have the players locked in, loaded in, and Exceeli versus Enigma is just a couple of seconds away. We can see that Exceeli, they're not messing around. They've got their players all locked in. There's a breach on the server, ladies and gentlemen, and we have got it on Duke. There is a Astra, Killjoy, and Sova also available. So they are playing a little bit of a single duelist but double initiator setup. Yeah. And that is something that I, would expect on Haven, because information is key here. Except that Breach is more of a initiator who is more on the damaging side than on the informational side. So this could hurt Enigma a little bit more. We're just going to have to wait and see what exactly is going to be Hika's pick here, because he usually goes for the sky. Yeah. And if he does go for it, then this is going to be flashing Haven all along.
I mean, no surprises, right? I mean, double initiator along the way and a single duelist in the form of a Jet. That is the name of the game in the map of Haven. No surprises there whatsoever. I really want to place my bets on this player Zolo Crazy, because I've seen a few clips of him, and this man is a clutch minister. Trust me, Universe. This man can turn the game all by himself. He's going to be really crucial in this one. Apart from that, we have like mirror lineups of each other, just for the fact that Fancy has picked up the KJ and RBK is on the Cypher right now. So we basically have Rexy on Sova, Hika on the Sky. Antidote is going to play the Astra as well. We have similar controllers. We have similar Sentinels, the only difference is in the form of initiators, a breach and a sky. Now, we've always seen this battle brew along in the map of Haven, that a breach versus a sky. Sometimes the sky is really influential because of the fact that she can give you a lot more information. Sometimes the breach and its flashes can be a really, really big problem in your side. I just really want to find out what actually is going to be the true problem for both these teams right now, because considering how Enigma play the map of Haven, sky is going to be really important for them. They're mostly information oriented. They want more information before they can go for their executes. Considering that, I just wish both the teams all the best, because I'm looking forward to a great game right now.
Yeah, so am I. I really hope that both of the teams, well, they put their best foot forward, and that's exactly what we're going to hope for. Enigma representing India, and we've got Exceeli from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an interesting matchup, and it's all for us to see and enjoy what is going to be the outcome of this one, because whoever wins this is going to go ahead further in the playoffs, in the brackets, and face another strong team. And even if they go down further into the lower brackets, they're still going to face a strong team. So it's all around competition here. You cannot take this lightly. It's just, I love the stakes of the competition here. And we're going to be jumping into the game real soon now. The only thing that I am going to think about Enigma when they're starting off on their attack, right? Now,
Yep.
Enigma are a team that let Raw Fuel try and explore a lot of different avenues. He is the
Yeah.
one who, is the difference maker, because of that man clearly has no fear. He sleeps at night knowing that he himself is the boogeyman, and he instills fear into other people. So him being the only duelist on the side of his team as well is going to allow him, because they set him up for success multiple times. And him paired up with Hika and Rexy, who keep constantly just sending in. There's that recon, there's that flash, there's that hound, there's the owl drone. Everything is just for Raw Fuel on the attack to find that success that he needs. And not to forget, we've even got another amazing self-sufficient fragger in the form of RVK, who not just holds down the backlines, but, well, to be honest, he's kind of like, the bad boy sheriff in town with the weapon sheriff itself, right? Like, he's just so good with his aim. Him with the Vandal or him with the Sheriff is just as scary as each other. And there's nothing much about Enigma that, you shouldn't be afraid of. You need to take into consideration everything that they can do. Whereas on the other side of things, Exceeli, they have a really good and young, powerful team that individually can create so much difference that, to be honest, I don't think that Enigma are going to expect as much, because Enigma haven't played against Exceeli as that much, right? So their game book is not really open in front of Enigma saying, you know what, we can read you. But Enigma's game book is open to the side of Exceeli, because, well, they've probably watched Enigma a couple of at least 10s of 20s of time, watched them play on Haven or on Icebox or any other map. Fracture can be different. That's why they've chosen it probably. But Haven, well, let's find out what's going to happen as we will be heading into the game in just a couple of bits.
Yeah, true that. I mean, in terms of expectations, I feel like the composition is going to play a really key role. We've always seen the better initiator generally kind of leads his team to success. In this one, we have a breach versus sky, which can be pretty interesting. I mean, we've talked about it before as well. Right now, I feel like the team with the better communication, the team who utilizes the double initiator composition better, can get a lot more success, considering the fact that Team Enigma, just like you mentioned, they are on attack right now. So the sky, of course, is going to have a lot more job to do, considering that you have the flash. I believe the sky is the only flasher for the team right now. Yeah, she is the only flasher for the team. There is going to be a lot of responsibility on Hika to kind of aid in those resources, funnel in those resources, so that Raw Fuel can actually make his way into sight and probably clear things out. I want to see what the defensive setup from Exceeli looks like right now, because considering that, it's going to be a little different, right? They always have to spread themselves up. Considering Haven is a three-sided map, we've spoken this time and time again, you always have to spread out your resources. You always have to have an eye on every single opportunity that you have, like the garage or the mains, or probably short sewers, B. There's a ton of places that you're going to look out for. if Team Enigma can capitalize on it, if they can double up on one particular site, or if they can do their defaults properly, I feel like they can exploit the chunks in the armor of Exceeli. Now, Exceeli, this is their map pick, and considering that, I'm pretty sure they have some nice defaults as well, Universe.
Yeah, well, it's all about anybody and everybody who can make the defaults work to the best, and also if they get out of the default, it's how to break the system. It's about throwing in the Enigma, if you get the pun, but that's exactly what they're known for. Enigma, they don't do the usual, they do the unorthodox, they do the extraordinary, and they try to get away with it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but that's exactly what we're here to find out, whether or not it's going to go all the way in, whether or not they can make a difference with the weird plays that they do. Because we know for a fact that Antidote, when he joined this team, we remember back in his days at VLT, he was a duelist. He was a jet, he was the jet main. He was the operator, along with Exceeli. And then he shifted onto this role when he played in Godlike, where he played the Sage. He played even the Sentinel role, with the Killjoy at times. He played the Jet as well. And now he's come onto the controller role with the Astra. And it took him a while to settle into this role. And, I'm glad that his team has given him the time to do it, because now I'm glad to say that, Antidote is probably on his way to being one of the best Astras in, if not the entire SEA or SA region, at least in India. Let's move into the game now, ladies and gentlemen. We're all ready. Tech issues have been sorted. We're all ready for this game, as Exceeli are waiting to defend against Enigma. And here's the first pistol between these two coming up in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one, considering the fact that Enigma Gaming, they want to start off with flying colors. Exceeli Esports as well. Even they really don't want to keep stones unturned. Right at the bat, we can see some advancements in mid right now. Look at this though, Hika all by himself. We talked about how influential or how important his role is going to be. Raw Fuel once again on the back of the Tiger. Great frag on Fancy 9. Zolo Crazy has to do a lot of job over there. Recon Dart comes in as well through the smoke, trying to be a smoke criminal. Roffy has no idea, but RVK just pushes through the smoke, gets Zolo Crazy, push back with the flash, but that's about it. Team Enigma Gaming, they have some sort of control. Shock darts being pouring in from the skies, and here it comes. Enigma Gaming, they pour in bullets as well, and they completely put you down. Team Exceeli Esports, they couldn't really do anything much. The garage region was blown open, and as soon as that happened, the seaside was completely naked. There was no reinforcement. I mean, reinforcement came in, but even before that happened, there was a complete takeover of the seaside that they couldn't really recover from.
Yeah, I mean, the aggression of Enigma is something that we've known to see before. Thanks to Raviol, he is he's literally the spearhead of this team, who goes in head first and then asks question later. And now they've got an early advantage. Enigma yet again running towards the seaside as Exceeli prepare for this push. Raviol dashes straight in. He should be getting this kill onto Zolo, and he will. And that's the seaside opened up with just one kill. Plan will go down, and this round should be going to Enigma as expected, as a 3-man backstab is coming in. An RBK, he needs to be careful. Duke's actually found one kill, but he's taken care of immediately as RBK takes down only one. Rexy doubles up on towards Silong, and that's going to be 2-0 early on. And as we would expect, Enigma in the driving seat, but for how long are they going to sit there? Because here comes the first buy from Exceeli, and this is going to give them a little bit of a test.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be a big test for them because, of course, big guns for Exceeli Esports, the first opportunity, their first real opportunity in this game to make a comeback. And I'm pretty sure the entirety of Bangladesh is watching this team play. A lot of hopes lie on their shoulder as well. So no pressure, but still there's a lot of responsibility and pressure. That's probably the name of the game for them right now. The bird goes in, but the fault line pushes them back a little bit, holds back their team and their attack right now. You can see that Enigma Gaming, they're actually spread out really well. They are anticipating this move coming in from Exceeli Esports, that they might actually push up the corridors. Once again, Zolo Crazy all by himself now. He has to be supported by some other players, because most of the times he has been overwhelmed with so many players rushing onto him all by himself. The drone goes in. Rafuel will walk on the back of it once again. Zolo Crazy, he kind of anticipates a move, watches for some players. Oh my god, Rafuel! The flash as well as the spray down comes through, but Zolo Crazy won by Once again, all by himself, gets 2 frags. Here's a third. Nice one. I love his footwork through the smoke. He is absolutely godlike. Duke, though, takes down Antidote. There's only one player who survives, and that's going to be RVK now. That's not a player you would like to be in a 1vx situation. Every time this man is in a 1vx situation, he really shines, and RVK just waiting for the players to pop up from spots on 1, trying to bait out the others. Gets the first one. Nice one. Retrieves the Phantom. Here he comes, but Duke puts an end to his miseries. No more 1v shenanigans, RVK, but I love the work. I love the work from Zolo Crazy. You remember Universe, I talked about this player. I knew that this man is going to be a problem. I said that watch out for this man, and yet here he comes through the smoke. Watch out for his footwork. He gets the first kill through the smoke itself. He walks past it like a... I mean, typically you would call that an omen from the shadows, but here it is, an Astra, just pulling off similar moves.
Yeah, indeed. And now with this round that's come up for the side of Exceeli, they're going to have a little bit more comfort zone coming into their favor. They've stepped in one step at least. But the only thing is, it's been Duke and Zolo so far who are being the fraggers for the team. And Zolo, well, he has a anime battle between him and Antidote towards T-Long, as both the Astros fight it out, and it's going to be Zolo to come on top. Here goes in a response from the side of Enigma, as Hika tries to find some information thanks to his ham, but he's just gonna throw that as out of bait as they move in towards B now. Feels still alive and still looking to cause damage, as the Owl drone is being sent to find out who's on this side from Exceeli. And Duke is just playing around with positions and timing, and here he's tagged, and Rafiel's gonna find an easy kill on him, taking control of even a link. So that gives a lot more trajectory for Enigma to win this round, as the plant, well, is just waiting to be going down yet, as Rexy made his way out of the site, but yet to plant a spike.
Big work from Rafi over there, taking down Shoe Streak. He's taking down the Sova, the reinforcements coming in from the C side right now. Most of Team Exceeli Esports, they've got themselves the B side, but here he comes, Sammy! A familiar 4 full side of Team Enigma Gaming right now. RVK does get Solo Crazy. That's 1 man down already. They need to be careful about this lingering presence coming in from mid and B side, but here it is, Team Enigma Gaming still trying to retrieve the spike. Exceeli Esports, they've got this control over it. Nanos one beautiful work, fancy that gets a Rafiel. That's 1 important player down. 8 seconds on the clock. The clock definitely is running down RVK. A lot of responsibility. He gets the first one. Can he get the second one? Not really. Sammy wouldn't really endow him that. The plant wouldn't go down as well. RVK struggling, but I mean, for sure he got the first kill, but didn't really have the time to go for more. But wonderful job by Exceeli Esports to recover from that position. You know, having compromised the B side the way they got it back was absolutely crazy. I love the fact that they kind of broke down the attack, right? They spread out the players in a form of I would say 1v2 scenarios, and they got control of the side, the spike as well. The nanoswarm deployment from Fancy was pitch perfect, and everything just went their way, right? 2-2 the scoreline. It's all even Stevens, and pretty much nobody is an underdog here. Universe.
Yeah, true. 2 for 2. We're going back and forth here. Rafiel, he's pulled out his Blade Storm, as RVK has the only one weapon in this round that's gonna help them. The Vandal, and he's holding down towards A. Sammy could be engaged in a fight with him, given time, but it's not going to be the case. Sammy backs off towards the A side. He wants to play this safe, as Enigma slowly are making their way towards this A site. They've got 4 players here, as Rafiel is left towards mid to try and find some rotational kills. He's going to take out that turret, make them think that maybe they're coming towards B, while RVK, he's looking to take that fight towards A. The flashes go in. Here come in the players as well. Rexy, the first point of contact, and Sammy's tucked into this corner. And he is going to be taken care of, maybe. It has to be up to Rafiel. But here comes Freak, shoves. He's going to take down 3. Rafiel's going to take down Sammy, but that doesn't even matter, because Exceeli have taken care of anybody and everybody. And that's even going to be the last kill onto Rafiel as well. Exceeli, hold on, as they lose only 1 player, and for good measure too, because that could have gone a little more, you know, downward than they would have expected.
That was probably an eco round from Team Enigma, right? That was, yes, that was an eco round.
Yeah, it was.
it's understandable that Exceeli did win that round pretty comfortably, but it's also important that they didn't lose a lot of players. They kept it clean. They retained most of their weapons. They don't have to reinvest in most of them. So that's nice for them. But now that Enigma, they've got an understanding of how the defensive setup looks like. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna start feeling a little comfortable. Here he comes. Sammy gets away with murder. Rafiel has been tacked in as well, but wouldn't really connect the shot. That was an insane move. Kind of expected that to happen. Sammy, the kind of notorious player he is, he will always peek out from garage doors and would want to take a kill. That's okay. Man advantage established. Exceeli Esports a little comfortable. This duel not really going his way. The smoke might dissipate in about seconds right now. Rafiel, he has done a lot of damage before that as well. RBK as well as Rafiel, they just come together. They get so much work done over there. 2v4 right now. And most of the attacking team, they are in post-plant positions. RBK holding back garage doors. He's going to find an easy frag onto a walking fancy. Shivs though. Couldn't really slap back on the Sova, but it's okay. It's a 1v3 and Rafiel is in position as well. You look at the way Enigma have been trying to play it out. I mean, I love the fact that they've been mixing and I don't know, they've been, what do you call it? What do you call it? Permutation combination there. Attack. That was a very lame joke over there, but nonetheless, they've been trying to mix things up. That's my point basically. They've been trying to go to the A side. They've been trying to go to the C side as well. Garage is one of their options. B is one of their potential options as well, and they've done every single thing out there. They're probably not hitting the A side as much, but I love the fact that they sometimes rotate it from the C side to the A side, and they take it slow and steady, a more information-based play, just like we talked earlier. Now, that might actually work against Exceeli Esports because this team, they're really good in terms of fragging out. You look at the players, they're insanely talented when it comes to getting frags for themselves. But when you are a very understanding team, when you are a really good synergized side, you can find in certain spots that are left vacant, just like they did over here. They got some nice frags in garage, and that's basically the C side left open. Once again, Team Enigma starting a little solo. Look at this. No advancement whatsoever, Universe.
Yeah, you would expect it because Sammy has the operator in his hands. Enigma probably know this. Oh wait, never mind. It's a Marshall. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That was a Marshall. The operator's in the hands of Antidote, actually. My bad. Forgive me for that because I kind of saw the scope and fell in for it. But Enigma, they've sent Rafiel and a multiple number of their teammates towards A, and the Antidote, he spots out Shoves and he takes him out. The A side's been opened up with just that as Sammy. He is the smoke and he's waiting to maybe pop out and get a kill, maybe dash away after that. But it's really risky considering that he has no idea who and where are the players on the other side of that smoke, of that nebula. Here comes the ultimate though. Duke, he comes in and so does Sammy. Dolo, they hand up Sammy!
No, don't do that! Don't do that, it hurts! It actually hurts! Nice aftershock over there, holding back these players from Enigma. 2v4 right now. They've almost taken over the side by storm. This was an amazing retake, even though it wasn't really a retake, to be honest. Like, the spike wasn't down, but the way they used that rolling thunder, it was pitch perfect. And Sammy with his blade storm, I mean, he doesn't even need the gun at this point, even though he missed a couple of shots, but he still find the frag against RVK. Here he comes, the fault line missing. Tika finally putting an end to Sammy, but the first two kills, I am awestruck. I'm flabbergasted at this point. I'm star-stuck. My jaw is dropping right now. He got that head. Like, the knife was so accurate, it probably left a mark right in between his eyebrows. Like, that's how accurate it was. 4-3 Exceeli Esports. I mean, I love the fact that Sammy is a familiar foe for Enigma Gaming and he's the one who's doing so much damage. It's such an amazing storyline that right now he's doing so much good work, even though he's moved on to a different region.
Indeed. 4-3. Exceeli Esports have the lead as Enigma are on an eco yet again. It looks like they're probably going to give this one away too. Fancy gets an early kill, and Hika actually hits back with this Vandal that he's bought into this round. And that's another weapon that can be gained. Rexy down to 1 HP as Rafiel takes on Shuvs and picks up his weapon. And somehow, the side of Enigma have a lot of things to work with. 3 versus 3. Make that 3 versus 2 as Zolo finds the perfect timing onto Antidote coming towards the A side. But Rafiel, he's just a little too quick for everybody at this point. Running around, causing riots, and he's finding kill after kill. as a 2v2 comes in, and a Killjoy ultimate for Fancy is available, but the counter from Rexy is also there. He's got the Hunter's Fury, but the one thing about him is that he's on 1 HP and he's been taken down just like that. Raphael, 1v2, needs to clutch this out for his team to bring them back to level terms, and he spots out Sammy. He needs that kill. Now he knows where the other one's coming from as well. The turret is there, and there's just too many angles for him to peek in, and Exceeli put up number 5.
Ooh. Has been intense, has been really, really intense, Team Enigma. What are you gonna do? The pressure is on you. I love the fact that Exceeli is doing so much good work right now. You look at the way they are claiming back the sites. Retaking on the map of Haven isn't really easy, Universe. We've seen a lot of good Indian teams struggle to go for retakes, but here it is, Exceeli. They're like, well, you've got the site for yourself. We're gonna come back. They've got perfect utility usage. They've got good communication, something which we thought would be something which might be a shortcoming in this side, but that is also not the case. This team has rose to the occasion really, really well. Once again, Enigma Gaming trying to explore the A side, trying to explore COs as well. Rawfield might actually press forward, but there is a presence, right? RVK is doing a lot of good work over near Garage. He has a lot of heavy lifting to do because he's the man who is trying to split the defense apart, right? Otherwise, it kind of becomes a lot one-dimensional. Very, very slow from Enigma Gaming, trying to run down the clock. It's almost like 20 seconds in this round, and they've got no map control on the back of it, apart from the fact that Rawfield has pushed up towards Sewers. He might actually push forward even more, but considering that information has been relayed and the read is perfect from Exceeli Esports, they are starting to huddle up. The smokes come through as well, and here it comes. Enigma Gaming start taking the site all by themselves. The site has been taken over. Here it comes. Hunter Fury dealing the plant antidote. Is going to dodge that comfortably, but that's all that he wanted. Rawfield though finds Sammy in heavens. That's important. That's the operator play down already.
Yeah, and here comes the Cosmic Divide. This is a little tricky for the side of Exceeli, but they still have a good chance of retaking this. But Hika and Antidote say no. Here comes out a player from the wall, and he finds Duke somehow. But what they don't expect is Rexy swinging out from the corner on the right side. And that's going to be Enigma's round. 5-4. We're not going anywhere into this. The first half is as competitive as it can get, as Exceeli, well, they still have the lead in their favor, but for how long can they keep it? Because right now, they seem to be going on an eco, and that should give Enigma the segue to move up to number 5 themselves. Yeah. Now, Salty, I just want to ask you this. It kind of looks like it's going to be 5-5 right now after the end of this round in just a couple of minutes. But what do you think is going to be splitting the difference between these two teams? Because so far, it's like they're just going blow for blow. I don't see anything that's, making a difference between these two teams. Do you see anything?
It's just the first half, Universe. I mean, you need to watch out how Exceeli actually attacks, right? The defense is good. The defense is great, to be honest, but if they have a good attack, that can be a difference maker. Enigma have a really good defense. They've been playing together for a long time right now. They've been playing on the map of Haven for a long time, so I'm pretty sure they have the defense setup set as well. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to find out what Exceeli can actually do in their attacking side of things. One player dropped from... okay, RVK, that's probably not your best, but that's fine. But I mean, it's a decent ego round. One man down, one weapon dropped. They're gonna take it, but then again, it's not a very heavy loss for the side of Enigma as well. So 5-5 the scoreline. It looks really healthy for both the teams. Just like you mentioned, it's neck and neck right now. Both the teams are going toe to toe in this map of Haven, but when it actually comes in the second half is when we'll start and understand which team actually can create the difference. So far, we've seen the initiators do so much heavy work. We've seen the Sovas do decent, but I absolutely love the fact that Breach and Sky is doing so much heavy lifting. It's more like the Breach and Skies are enabling the Jets to enter into side, feeding them the flashes, feeding them that information as well. And that is just enabling both the teams to use the duelists to their best extent.
Yeah, that is true. There is a small little pause that has come in, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we have a tech issue, just a teeny tiny bit. just as Salty was showing it. But not to worry, we're gonna be getting back into the game pretty soon. But so far, let's have a look at let's have a look at the story that's happened so far. Yeah, we've had an Enigma side that has come up and it took the lead early on, but immediately it was overturned by Exceeli, and they took the lead, and it's just been going back and forth since. Now again, we're on 5-5, and both the teams have the the advantage of trying to predict what the other team is doing, and it works out somehow, right? So we're gonna be heading back into the game in just a bit, and as I talk about it, I just want to understand because this half could easily be 6-6, and by the looks of it, I am not gonna say that I can already smell an overtime somewhere near the corner.
Overtime. Probably not, honestly, because the second half, that's going to dictate so much, Universe. Like, for now, I mean, 5-5, that's decent, but then we've seen a lot of teams in the final third of the game start showing signs of dominance, start showing signs of slowing down as well. I'm not really sure which team is going to slow down and which team is going to start dominate, but right off the bat, we have both the teams really playing very tactically. When the game progresses and their formation kind of opens up, players start taking more free roles and they start kind of being a little more independent. That is when things are going to open up a lot more. A very risky move from Zami. Doesn't really get the pick, but he will be pushed back on the back of the flash. Tries to take that duel against Rawfield once again, will be pushed back. 40 HP for this man. No way to stabilize, no heals to work for. That is where the Sky really comes into play, right? She can stabilize you back in your back like you took no damage. That's probably the best part about it. RVK destroying the turret and then falling back once again. Team Enigma, they've sold a nice, really good fake towards the A side, and now they're trying to move towards the C side as well. All these players are going to funnel in. Zolo Crazy is in position, gets the first one taps Hika out of existence. RVK though pulls back Duke. He's going to take off his hat as well. But Sammy's in position with the op. He knows exactly where these players are going to come from. Zolo Crazy, how many players are going to take all by yourself? 12 seconds, and Sammy's in position. Fancy comes in. He takes down the planter. There's only one man who survives. RVK. No surprises there.
There's nothing much he can do over there. Had to go down to Sammy, and that's going to be number 6 for Exceeli, as Zolo Crazy is absolutely crazy. Clearly. What a beautiful run from him. He just held down the side so well, and the taps with the Phantom, they're just as satisfying as they are with the Vandal. And Exceeli are giving Enigma a run for their money, clearly. And they're showing them that they might have not faced them too many times, but you cannot take this team lightly.
I mean, Universe, there's something which is very interesting to note. I mean, I'm not sure if you have the same opinion, but do you think Enigma Gaming, they're kind of overthinking this point? Like, their fallback from the A side towards the C side wasn't really executed well. They had all the men, but there was no utility, right? They probably spent a little bit more towards the A side to try and damage Sammy over there. The fact that Sammy was pushed back could have really been an opening for them to work with. Oh my god! Antidote was caught napping. Sammy gets a frag, gets away with murder. Duke with a Spectre takes on Rawfield at that range. Insane stuff. Here you have an RVK who's been caught napping. He's just walking in.
No.
Freaks is gonna punish him for it once again. It looks to be like a 75 half, something which nobody expected, but look at this. So there's someone in the backstab. Oh la la. Love this. Zolo Crazy. He's here, but the Seekers kind of give him his position, but he's going to find the frag nevertheless. No real shenanigans over there. Hika couldn't really pull off anything much. Here comes the only player who is still surviving. Rexy does have shot up to work with. Gets one, pulls off Sova Diff right there, but Sammy has been spotted. Sammy has been taken down as well. 1v2, very doable. The lockdown, and yeah, this is probably where it comes to an end. Yeah,
Rexy, he tried his best. He got a couple of kills, but that was the most he was gonna find. As the half ends up with the smallest bit of difference between the two teams, splitting them at 7-5. And that's something that, you would be okay with. So you just have to consider that this probably, apart from the 6-6, this was probably the one half point scoreline that I was expecting to go either way. I thought it could go either Exceeli having 7-5 lead or Enigma having a 7-5 lead, because with the way that things have been going that we've been seeing so far, it's just been going, you know, blow for blow, punch for punch. This is, you know, probably the most expected scoreline apart from the 6-6.
Yeah, pretty much. Recon that comes out. Team Exceeli starting to go for an aggressive one? Not really. They have sent in a drone as well. They have sent in a jet as a live recon dart, something which I never really love to talk about. But yeah, that is basically the name of the game for Duelist right there. But 3 players towards the A side, making some advancement, getting some map control, and then falling back. No real estate whatsoever right now. We have run down the clock a little bit as well. So all these players from Enigma Gaming, they're starting to startle a little bit. They're getting dismantled. Moving out of positions can be a key. Team Exceeli Esports anticipating these moves, right? They're anticipating the positions where these players are going to pop off from. Hika once again pushing up. They're playing exactly along the lines where Exceeli want them to. A frenzy. No way! Hika finds a shot first with a ghost. Here he comes. Fancy goes down as well. Sammy once again still in the A side, has spotted down one player right there.
What?
Rex?
Rexy?
Insane stuff. Here we come, the shock dart, as well as raw fuel over there. So much heavy lifting. Team Enigma doing a really good job over there, but Zolo Crazy once again finding his way from the B side towards the A side, getting 2 frags, but that's about it.
That is just unnaturally lucky. I don't know if it's luck or, you know,
I like
he just
the approach though. I like the approach from Exceeli. I like the approach from Exceeli. The fact that they're waiting and once again playing into Enigma's cards right there, like waiting in C long territory, waiting in A long territory. They know that these players are a little aggressive when it comes to getting kills, like Hika, especially when you look at other players in the A side, raw fuel for that matter. These players will peek out, and if you get their picks first, if you get that man advantage established, that is a really big opening for you.
Yep. And now towards the C side, Exceeli, they're making their tread in strides, but raw fuel, well, he's just a little too powerful with that ghost as the remaining of his teammates also pick up on kills. And it's gonna be a pretty much easy cleanup round for Enigma. 7-7, we're back on track. We're still on no difference between these two teams being shown up here as Enigma, well, they are giving as much of a competition as we would expect. And now with this bonus round, if they somehow win this, it's just going to add on to the fuel. It's just going to add on a lot more to the misery of Exceeli. But considering the recent history of this match itself, just the first half, this is going to be another 8-7, maybe 8-8, and then maybe 9-7. You never know. Well, let's find out.
Raw fuel as well as RVK, both of them actually pushing up. This can be problematic. Duke does have the weapons to counter them, but the smoke prevents him to kind of do so. Once again, Exceeli Esports trying to go a little so Zolo Crazy has to be really careful over here because he's the only player who can kind of build space for the side. The dog comes out, spots on Fancy 9 doing a little bit of footwork over there. Fancy little footwork, but that's okay. Now they're gonna start peeking out as well. Now I just want to find out what they can do. Here it comes with flashes, but Fancy 9 so good with the Phantom over there, anticipating the move and spraying him down. Once again dealing a lot of damage. Fancy 9 gets second for himself. Rexy brings one down. That's 2 for 1. Right there, Zolo Crazy finding one in the backstab.
Last player standing.
Wow. Clean up. Cleaned up.
Cleaned up indeed. Exceeli, they put up number 8 as their first buy round of the second half comes through. And it comes to fruition. And Enigma, they have their first buy now. Raw fuel. He's pulled out the big bad weapon. The operator is in his hands. And he is looking to exploit the A main side. And I don't think Exceeli are too keen on going right there to give him that kill. Because you can see they've put down a little bit of utility. They might just find him off guard here. But raw fuel, he smoked himself off. He's not going to be detected. And this is a problem. Sammy goes down and raw fuel with an easy kill. Is just going to get away from there. And now already watching towards A short. He sees that drone coming in, takes out, and Exceeli need to be scared to move into this A site. You can see they are. But Antidote, he gets punished for his shenanigans. He pushes up too much. No support as well. Hika was on site. Ended up pushing up alone was a mistake that I think Enigma might just pay for in this round, as a 4v4 has been set up, the man advantage nullified, and now it's up to Exceeli to decide where they want to go, because they've got the entire thing of the entire element of surprise in their hands.
Exactly. Right, they've done this so perfectly. Enigma Gaming have tried to do something similar, but Exceeli, they've actually perfected the art of waiting and pushing. I absolutely love this. The A side has been left completely open. RVK is considering to fall back right now, and here it is. Here comes the utility. Zolo Crazy is gonna push forward. RVK just waiting for him. Zolo Crazy, so nice work over there. Swings out wide and takes down RVK. Here it comes the Astral Divide. It's gonna deny anything for Rawfield over there. Aftershocks as well. Basically nothing that Rawfield can do in this. Gravity wells deployed, Astral Divide over there as well. Utilities to perfection. Shock darts being eaten by Rexy as well. It's literally perfect from Team Exceeli. Fancy 9 in the backstab finds Rawfield. This is such bad news for them. Rexy though finds one. Fancy 9 is in position as well. Rexy wouldn't really be able to do much over there because of the turret. That's basically it. I feel like Enigma, they've surrendered this round more so. Just waiting for this to pan out. A third kill for this man. Waiting for exit frags. Hika over there. Can be an important one as well.
Oh no, Hika.
Whips a little bit. Freak over there. Trying to jiggle P, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. He finally managed to get him. But you look at this, right? In Enigma Gaming, it's like Exceeli is doing exactly the same thing as Enigma Gaming. Both of the teams are playing it slow. Nobody is trying to brute force at their way inside. This is probably my favorite way of playing Valorant. You try and big brain your opposition out of the game. But the way Exceeli has been executing their moves is perfect. And you know why, Universe? One of the reasons is because Exceeli, they were really calm and composed in their defense. They weren't really pushing up all the corridors. Look at Antidote right now. This man pushes up from the C corridor. He is the Asher for the team, right? And you know that Ashers always go for backstabs. They always go for flanks as well. He was kind of pushing up, and that is where he was caught napping. The players were waiting for him. Sammy, though, kind of trying to do something a little too much over there. Duke takes on RVK. That's fine, but Antidote taking Sammy down. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but this looks good for Exceeli right now. Hika though can pull off a difference over there. Zolo Crazy, one of the important men, has been taking down Rawfield with the knives. He's gonna find Freeze as well. Checking all the angles. Duke finds one more. Hika puts an end to him. Fancy 9 all by himself, coming in from garage, finds the first one. Wouldn't be able to find the second one.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen anyway, as Enigma, they pull out a Thrifty, and that's number 8 on the board. I really thought this was gonna be 10 for Exceeli, but it turned out to be a beautiful Enigma round thanks to one that was started off by Hika, and Rawfield adding on to it. His knives worked, and so did Antidote Sheriff. Everything was in place for them to make this round a success. As Exceeli are facing off another blow, they still have a lead, a really narrow lead of just one round, and I'm gonna expect them to try and hold on to it for as long as possible because they need it. The more they are in the front seat of the car, the better chances they have of winning this one out. Because if Enigma come to level terms with them, it's gonna give them a little bit of nervousness. A little bit of nervousness will definitely kick in, and that's exactly what they don't want. RVK pushes out towards mid. He will find the kill onto Fancy. Hika gets another, and all 3 players from Exceeli are running in towards mid. They want to take this fight, and Shuvs, he's gonna give it to him. Only one though, as Rawfield comes in, finds one. Sammy's the last man standing, and he's got nothing to say. It's gonna be Rawfield to clean up, as Antidote will defuse the spike. It's gonna come to 9-9. Exceeli in a little bit of a tight spot now.
We defend this reality.
A little bit. Not really sure about that. Probably in a very tight spot because considering all that they have done, considering that they've used up a lot of resources, done everything that is possible to stop Enigma Gaming, they're still at level terms. This is 9-9. This is neck and neck. Like, it can go in anybody's favor at this point. And considering the economy, it very well looks like it's going to be going towards Enigma. Rawfield has been absolutely mad. 21 frags for this man. 12 deaths and 1 assist. This man has been hitting his shots like crazy. 9-9 once again. We start off Enigma Gaming and Rawfield. No surprises there. Hika as well, hitting his shots. 2 players taking down early on in the seaside. 1 garage as well.
Exceeli, they need to find at least 1 kill, maybe take down that operator somehow. And Zolo has been an absolute beast of a player, but he's not going to be good enough to face the wrath of Raw Fuel's operator. Nobody from Enigma is falling out. Nobody is even backing down from a fight. And that's exactly what we love to see. Towards the A side they come. Rexy spots him out, and it's up to RVK. You've seen both of them go past him towards A-Long. And easy kills for him. There's one, and there's a second. Enigma take the lead back in their favor. And Exceeli, well, they gotta be sweating a couple of bullets at this.
Yeah, pretty much. This is probably the first time they've gotten a lead in this entire game so far. Exceeli, they were the team who was always like taking the first steps in Enigma Gaming. They were playing catch up, considering what happened. Well, right now, where do you go, Enigma Gaming? This is probably the most important round that decides the fate of this game so far. This map is picked by Exceeli Esports. Considering that, I'm pretty sure that they're good in this map. Enigma Gaming are pretty good in this map as well. This map victory can mean that they can take this 2-0 victory. Raw Fuel once again singing the songs of death, dancing across the pitch with the operator. Takes down Sammy, is going to risk peeking out from the smoke. Takes down Duke as well. Zone Crazy and Fancy9 bring 2 back. As things are back on level terms, it's still 3v3 right now. Anything can happen. They're falling back with the spike. Antidote still holding down the B side. Spots down the foot of Zolo Crazy, just waiting for him to swing by. Zolo Crazy has no idea where the players are coming from. Checks the wrong angle. Antidote puts a bullet in his brain. 2v3 right now. Just wanted to find out what is gonna happen. Exceeli though, they find their way towards the seaside. They've found it empty. They've taken it over, but 2 players. A complete takeover would never really be possible. And Antidote is starting to surround them. No real signals as of yet. These guys, they have no idea that these players from Exceeli Esports, they are in the seaside right now. The spike isn't going down. That's interesting. I mean, generally when you find the site open, you would probably go for a plant, but these guys have been starting to check every single nooks and crannies, and that's good. Here it comes. They start going for a plant. The gravity well, coupled up with the Hunter's Fury. Perfection incarnate, ladies and gentlemen. Enigma Gaming starting to click together, starting to really slap the hell out of Exceeli Esports right now. The operator shot just to terrify a little bit of Fancy, and here it comes in Antidote. Enigma's IGL showing that he has some blood in his hands as well. 9-11 the scorecard, and this has been a crazy game so far. It has been swinging in terms of momentum. You look at the timeline. I would request the observer to press tab after this highlight, because you look at the tab, right? You look at the timeline, you know exactly what has happened. 2 rounds, 2 rounds here, 2 rounds there, 2 rounds here, 2 rounds there. It has been like back and forth, 2 boxers jabbing at each other. Finally, Team Enigma find a way to break the curse, find a way to break that cycle of trap, and right now they're in the lead with 2 rounds. This can be brutal, but can Team Exceeli come back? This should be an eco round, should be difficult, especially with the sheriffs, especially with the classics. It's definitely gonna be difficult.
It most certainly is. Exceeli, they've given off a little bit of steam here, and that's gonna throw them into a mix. You can see the scoreboard as well, and by the looks of it, Enigma are having a much more of a team effort being put in. 25 on Raw Fuel, 16 on RVK, 15 on Rexy, and 15 on Hika. Antidote's on 6, but he's doing a lot with his utility, so that's good enough. Everybody else is backing him up on terms of him putting down his smokes, him putting down his gravity wells, him putting down pretty much anything and everything that's going to allow them to find a little bit of map control as we head back into round number 21. Coming towards B, Exceeli now, and this is probably the first time they're approaching this, or maybe the second. But it is an eco, and this is probably the best choice.
Here it comes, the lockdown, the jet dashing in. Rexy and RVK just doubling up, taking down 2 players. The lockdown is still in position. It hasn't really been destroyed as of yet. Will buy them some time as well as some space, but what on the back of it? What is the outcome? At what cost? I've lost 2 players already. They will not try and venture out towards the B side anymore right now, especially after what happened through the smoke, trying to be a little daring. These guys, Exceeli Esports, they're not falling back. They're stubborn. Antidote trying to hold this angle out. Fancy 9 is going to take down Rexy first. Antidote will find the trade over there. One for Shrieks, one for Hika. Trades going back and forth. Team Enigma Gaming en route to finding the map point in this one. 12th round, a 3v1 for Zolo Crazy, especially with this big bad hand cannon. A sheriff to work with. Spots down Antidote. He missed the first shot. Knows probably that there might be someone in the backup side. Rawfield puts a bullet in his chest right there. Zolo Crazy has been sent flying. Here it is, 9-12 the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. Enigma Gaming, after a lot of struggles, they've really found the groove. This is exactly what I was talking, Universe, about. Like, as soon as the final third of the game comes in, we get to see a tight affair kind of spread out a little bit. Players starting to take it a little easy. A certain group of players start dominating. For example, Rawfuel, for example, Antidote, they're starting feeling themselves. Meanwhile, the other players from the other team, they just start slowing down a little bit. This is normal sports procedure, and that is what happens, right? 9-12, and considering that scoreline, Exceeli Esports, they have their backs against the walls. What can they possibly do?
We're gonna have to find out. Sammy finds an early creek into the site, but Antidote immediately turns it up, finds a kill onto Sammy himself, and that's going to be an early trade. And Antidote, he's just doubling up, tripling up in the last few minutes of these rounds. And Duke and Fancy hit back. They pull it down to a 2v2. Somehow Antidote's heroics have gone to be nullified, and they run all the way back towards the C site, where they've got a little bit of utility still left. Decipher, that's RVK, he's got a camera, and nothing else, to be honest. They're not going towards garage, so that tripwire is useless, basically. But as soon as they hear this plant go down, RVK is going to have a look as to what exactly is happening. And then it is going to be a matter for them to consider whether or not they can end this here, because there is a Rolling Thunder available. And whether or not Duke wants to use it is going to be a question, because both of these players are coming from a backstab. I don't think these guys are going to expect this. Fancy probably going to expect one. That flash towards garage is to sell out a fake of sorts, as RVK wants to peek out, finds the kill, and here it is, Duke. 1v2. He has to get this kill. He has to get it first. It's not going to happen. It's going to be RVK to pull out the first and the most important map in this series, as Enigma go 1-0 up thanks to RVK.
Wow, what a game it has been so far. I absolutely loved every single bit of it. Like, you look at the way you look at the scoreline, you probably think like, oh, Enigma Gaming, they've been superior. But considering everything that went down the line, I'm pretty sure that Exceeli wouldn't have put up a tougher fight. This is probably one of the toughest games that Enigma have played. In terms of progression, the game was really slow, right? The game was really slow from the start. You look at the way both the teams approach this map. This is probably the first time I've seen this on Haven. They start taking things really slow. Both Enigma, both Exceeli, they start taking things really slow. They approach the map with trying to run down the clock and probably execute their sites, probably execute their set piece late in the round itself, right? And that is something which is different. That is something which really worked for Exceeli right at the start of their attacking side. But when it actually mattered, they kind of slowed down a little bit, and economy played a little bit of part in that. They failed to kind of get victories in their buy rounds, because of which they had to go through multiple ecos, and Enigma Gaming just kept on pounding the pressure, piling up on them, and Exceeli just succumbed to that brilliance.
Indeed, it was an intense match back and forth until the very end, where Enigma somehow ended up overpowering the side of Exceeli. They found the groove that they needed, and they just stuck to it, and they just completely went overdrive mode. It was no more Exceeli trying to make their foot in the ground. It was just Enigma completely battering them in those last 3-4 rounds. 9-9. I told you that the minute they let Enigma come to level scores, the nervousness kicks in, and that's it. After that, it was Enigma who pulled round after round, and number 13 came its way, as we have Haven, that is, by the way, the pick of Exceeli, going the favor of Enigma. And now Exceeli need to be careful. Exceeli need to be really careful because Fracture, I'm not quite sure they expected it, not quite sure they wanted it, but let's have a look at the match highlights before we head on towards the short little for Fracture to just have a look at what exactly transpired on Haven because Salty, to be honest, I knew this is going to be a matchup that's going to be really close, and it did end up being. And 13-9 is a scoreline that personifies it, you know, because we saw it go 9-9 until the very end, and after that was when Enigma found their, sixth gear and they started hitting it off. But until that point, come on, you gotta admit that even until then, nobody knew who was actually going to win this one.
Yeah, absolutely true. I guess at certain stage, it even looked like Exceeli is going to run away with it because Enigma Gaming, they were kind of falling into the trap. They were pushing up different corridors, and Exceeli Esports, they were predicting the places where Enigma is going to pop off from. You look at the one clip where Antidote is going to pop off from like the C corridor. Fancy is going to shoot a bullet right in his brain easily, comfortably. And every single time they were pulling on their fakes, it was just pure delicious stuff, especially Sammy. Like he was doing a lot of wonders, but he kind of slowed down in the fag end of the game. Raw Fuel instead, he picked up his pace and got back in his normal gear. So that is basically the difference, right? We talked about the normal sports procedure where it's very well known, especially in like games like football, where the first 60 minutes are like very tactically heavy. The teams play tight formations, much in Valorant as well. You play really tight formations, you play according to your tactics, you play according to the strategy that you've prepared in the drawing room. And when the game progresses in the fag end of the game, you start kind of giving in to that fatigue, and the game kind of opens up a little bit. You find a little bit of errors here and there, and because of which you kind of get an advantage as well. You make use of that, and you probably have an opening for that round itself. So the game really opens up in the final third of it, and we knew that would happen, but it was only a matter of time to understand who actually makes advantage of it, and it was Enigma Gaming. And no surprises there, honestly, Universe, because they would probably be the more experienced lineup in this matchup right now, and them enduring all that brilliance from Exceeli Esports and still not giving in, still not, I would say, giving into that pressure and coming back right when it actually mattered. It just speaks. It just speaks of the brilliance of Enigma Gaming. It speaks of their confidence and their general capabilities.
Yeah, it most certainly does. Enigma have had a pretty great and convincing game here. They played as tactically as possible. They kept their wits about themselves. They, gave the opponent respect where they deserved it, and at times where they just wanted to push in straight up, have absolutely no remorse for their opponent. They did their best. And as you can see, they won out the map of Haven, and that is going to allow them to go into Fracture a lot more comfortably than they would have expected. One step in towards taking their stride into the upper bracket further on. And Exceeli, the only way that they're going to make this comeback is if they've actually to play Fracture with, a set standard of agents before this. They would have definitely practiced, but Enigma have never been watched. I mean, I don't know if they played against them on scrims or something, but Enigma on official matches till now have never played on Fracture. So this is going to be a first.
This is going to be a first, like legit first.
Yeah, first official match for sure. This is going to be. I should believe so. I personally have not seen Enigma play Fracture anywhere. So let's see how that goes.
Interesting, actually. I mean, that basically means surprises on both ends, Enigma as well as Exceeli. And considering how both the teams stack up in terms of like capabilities when it comes to playing the game, in terms of, picking up their guns and shooting heads, both the teams are equally brilliant. You have some crazy fraggers from Exceeli as well. Consider Zolo crazy, consider Sammy, consider Fancy 9. All of these are insane fraggers, and you have some from Enigma Gaming as well. So you match all these 10 players together in a map which is kind of unknown, where we haven't seen official games from both the sides. It's going to be a bloodbath, and I'm pretty sure that is going to be. But no expectations so far. Like Haven has been a really tactical affair, but I'm expecting a lot more chaos, a lot more I would call it like a symphony of errors in the map fracture, because we haven't seen what both the teams play like on this map. We haven't seen what strategies have they been preparing behind the scenes. None of these teams know about each other in that map. So I'm pretty sure we can see some outstanding stuff. We can see some outstanding brilliant scenes, but there can be a lot of errors as well, miscommunications and whatnot. Experimentation, ladies and gentlemen. That is what it comes with a new map for us, for you, the audience as well, and for the players. It's a similar storyline.
Indeed, it is. And we're going to have a short break coming now, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere because, we've got a huge map coming up. Nothing that we've seen before. Enigma, we haven't seen them. We haven't seen Exceeli on this. We're going to find out whether or not it's going to be a 2-0 from Enigma going into their map pick, or are Exceeli going to take us to Icebox? We'll be back in just a bit with the AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown. Don't go anywhere. We'll just be back in a bit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown, where we've got the biggest teams going up against each other. And we just saw a first map on Haven of Enigma versus Exceeli, which kind of went all the way towards the end of almost 22 rounds, 23 rounds. And to be honest, I expected it to be a little bit more closer. I thought it's probably going to be 13-11 in the end, but 13-9 seemed like a little bit of a just scoreline. Now, we finished on Haven, which was, by the way, the pick of Exceeli Esports. They picked that map, and now we go into Fracture, where both of these teams, they've not been, I don't know about Exceeli, I've not seen them play in their regional tournaments if they have played Fracture, but I for sure haven't seen Enigma play on Fracture before, and if they picked it, they must have a game plan. Salty, I just want to ask you, a completely new map, no idea who's going to perform how. What do you expect from this?
I said it right. I mean, all chaos, right? You want that all chaos moment in this map.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they've practiced it like behind the scenes. I'm pretty sure that they're not going it completely blind. They have their defaults and something set. But when it comes to utilizing it in match experience, when it comes to when the stakes are high, performing at the best of your capabilities on a new map kind of gets a little difficult. You kind of always maybe forget to check certain angles or forget to do certain things, and those things does come into play. Considering all of that, I'm pretty sure that both the teams are going to struggle a little bit when it comes to Fracture. But then again, the gun game from both the teams, from all these 10 men who are there in the server, is completely fabulous. We saw that in the map of Haven. We are probably going to see this in the map of Fracture as well. A little bit of a difference is certainly going to be there, but if I remember correctly, I guess it is Exceeli Esports who is in the attacking side of things. We'll have a look at that in the map recap as well. They are on the attacking side, so this kind of gives them a little bit of an edge on paper, because considering how the Fracture map is designed, it's a little attacking sided. You know that, right? You try and split yourself into halves, and then you can pinch the side from two different sides, and that is something which you really want to do. If they can execute it perfectly, I'm not really sure how Exceeli Esports are, how comfortable they're gonna feel on this map, but if they feel comfortable, if they can execute their strategies right, I'm pretty sure they can cause problems for Enigma Gaming, especially in the first half. We've seen them do that in the map of Haven, 75 with the scoreline universe. And if they can probably repeat the same feat and keep the momentum, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it most certainly is going to be interesting if they're able to continue their momentum. Enigma Gaming have an upper hand here. I would like to believe it, at least. Even if they're on defense on a map like Fracture, which is a little heavily attack-minded, I still want to say that Enigma Gaming are going to have an easier time, because they would have definitely had some strategies on defense as well as to how they want to play each side, where they want to defend more, how they're going to stack up everything. But let's go first to the agent selection, because that's what I'm more concerned about. I want to know what they're going to pick. Is there going to be a Breach? Is it going to be a Sky? Is there going to be a Sova? Let's find out. A Breach is almost like a given in this map. I think a Breach is really important, and you can see it. Duke and Hika are teasing it. And RVK's locked in that Viper, and Viper, again, a really important, a member of this lineup as well. Now, if you do look at the lineup, you can see that there's a Killjoy and a Sage from the side of Exceeli, and that is an interesting pickup, because I have not seen a Sage being introduced that often into a Fracture lineup. But if it works for them, it works for them. We've got Rexy with the Cypher. Okay, a Cypher. Something that, yet again, another new pick that I'm seeing. Got the Astra and a double controller for the side of Enigma. Now, this is turning out to be a lot more weird than I expected. We have a Viper and an Astra on the side of Enigma, whereas on the other side of things, we have a Killjoy and a Sage. And to counter that, we have a Cypher. Now, Cypher, I am not quite sure how viable he is on this map of Fracture, but I really hope that Enigma Gaming have a, an answer as to what exactly they would want, right? Because every time they would think about having a certain amount of control that they would want to establish with a killjoy, that is not going to come with the cipher, because the ultimate of that killjoy is going to be very useful, which I know can be taken down by the breach's aftershock, but it's still really powerful if they find the breach not alive or he's already used the aftershock. The killjoy ultimate, especially on the B side, is really helpful when you go on the underground level, right? When you go on the underground
Yeah.
level, you've always got that that space. It covers the entire site and a lot of avenues, and it just flushes out the defenders, giving you the site for free.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, considering RVK, he's more comfortable with the Cypher. I feel like it's more like a comfort peak team, Enigma Gaming. They're probably trying to play this on the matter of gun game. They have the trip wires in place as well. So that probably would mean that they can also prevent all the backstabs from coming through as well, which you can always do with a turret and an alarm bot. But I mean, a Cypher can be a little more convenient as well. Considering you always have the bridge in play, that basically means if the Cypher can manage to put like two trip wires in both the ends of the bridge, you can kind of pincer the attacking team, and you would understand where exactly the pinch is going to come in from. Also, you have the Cypher Cam as well, which always can work really well, considering when you try and go for like fakes happening, you kind of try and prevent from fakes happening as well. You've got the Cyber Cage, which is really useful, especially in terms of retakes. All in all, yeah, for sure, KJ is always going to be like a much better agent, a much valuable pick in this map of Fracture. But considering Cypher, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But then the controllers are the same. We've got okay, so on one end, I believe we have got a double controller. On one side, we have had just a single Viper. Now, Viper is quintessential in this one. You need that cutting edge, but when it actually comes to using Astra, I'm not really sure like what exactly is going to be the usage, especially considering what Antidote is trying to pull off. Probably once again a comfort pick, probably trying to use those gravity wells and Nova pulses to try and dissipate the defense when you are in the attacking side of things can be useful. But considering how big this map is, not really sure its utility. Like generally the gravity wells and the Nova pulses works wonders when you have like close angles, when you have like really short corridors, especially for example the maps of Split or Ascend, which are like small maps with little crooks and crannies. You can cover that entire region with a gravity well, but Fracture not that much. But well, it's on the user. Antidote, if he can use it to perfection, who am I to say?
I mean, that is true. We're gonna have to just wait to find out. There is a small little tech pause that has come in, but we're just gonna take this time to assess what exactly could be a couple of set strategies that could come in from the side of both Exceeli and Enigma. Given that Exceeli are on the attack of this, they have an upper hand in terms of a lot more Sentinel, and I want to say their lineup is more defensively suited than it is on offense. They've got a Sage, they've got a Viper, and they've got a Killjoy. That's basically, if you consider Viper as a pseudo Sentinel, that's three Sentinels, three agents who are good enough to hold down sites by themselves, right? They've got utility to hold on sites by themselves. They also got a Breeze to add on to that, who is just going to keep them at bay with all of his two flashes. He's got the fault line, and he's got the aftershock. Not to forget, if his ultimate's there, it's even more scarier. Whereas on the other side of things, we have got a dual controller setup. So that's a lot of smokes to play with. Map control, essential. Enigma Gaming, they play on map control, and these two agents are going to give it to them. The Viper Wall and the Astra smokes are just a lot of cover, a lot of time waste as well, to keep enemies at bay, not let them cross through. And not to forget, they've even... So flashes are also on in plenty. And if you add on to things, raw fuel as the jet is just a cherry on top of the cake. Like on the other side of things, you've got Sammy as a jet, who is the same counterpart as raw fuel. Now, how exactly is going to spin out? I just want to ask you, what do you think the first half scoreline is going to be? Do you think Enigma can take the lead in the defense?
Why do you always throw the curveballs at me, my man?
I mean,
you're like, all right, take it, the Phoenix Flash. I'm completely blinded right now because I have no clue. This is a map which is unknown, like especially for both teams and how they play. The composition looks not like something which is supposed to be default or something. I mean, I'm still not sure what the Sage is going to do in this map, and to be honest, like where do you want to set up that wall, because you have like multiple entry points in every single side. Even if you like block one of them, there is like other avenues for you to explore as well. You can also like heal. I'm pretty sure people don't use Sage anymore to kind of heal up players. Right now you've got the Sky for that as well.
I mean, it's still a good heal, right? Even though it's just one heal, it gets you all the way up to 100, at least 60 HP. So
So you call that good? Like you have got I mean, your signature ability heals you up to 60 HP, and then you've like a Sky you can heal you up to 100 HP in like in a matter of seconds.
hey,
So yeah,
to be fair, if you look, Sage was the OG healer, okay, before Sky came along. So let's just leave. Let's not take the credit away from her, because I feel that the Sage deserves a lot more credit than she's been given. We all know how crazy the walls can be utilized as, right? We all know it.
yeah.
And the heal is her basic ability. Whereas for Sky, you need to buy that ability. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. Sure is important, but I want to know what is really the approach from both the teams right now, especially Exceeli right now, considering that they're on attack. We can see that the Viper along with the Jet has actually moved up towards the bridge area. Now it's a really interesting combination, because generally you want to send in the breach along with the Jet, but this time you've got the Viper, so that's interesting. You've got a wall set up as well. RVK all by himself trying to kind of pull this off, but well, he's gonna fall back as well, so that's there. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I actually error in saying that RVK is gonna pick up the Cypher. Instead, it's actually RVK who's picking up the Viper, and Rexy is playing the Cypher right now. But that is done and dusted in Exceeli. They've actually got an opening, because Antidote as well as RVK, both of them are down, and they're done and dusted at this point. The Rexy kind of pulling one back by the Zolo crazy. It's going crazy right now. It's an exchange of duels at this point. It's all trades. Pistol's going crazy. Flash is coming on. Hika all by himself, trying to go in for a 1v2, and as soon as he peeks out, there is two players staring at him with bullets and barrels, and there's he goes.
Yep. It is Exceeli to make good work of what they had. The utility worked well, and Hika, as much as he could have tried to find a kill, his utility out in his hands was always going to mean his death was certain. Now Exceeli, they take the lead on Fracture, and that's probably going to translate into round number 2, but doesn't give out the story of the entire map. No, sir. As soon as we have a couple of rounds, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds down on the road, that's when we probably can make a little bit of a speculation as to what's happening. As yet again, towards A they go.
Yeah, for sure they do. Duke's just spraying down both of them comfortably. No surprises there, of course. He's had the better gun. And right now he picks up that Arcane Sheriff flashes to kind of clear out the side. There is no obstruction though. Exceeli, they come in back from bridge as well, and they completely take over the side. Here it goes, the spike plant. Sammy gets one, gets traded as well. Rawfield is going to retrieve that weapon, but I'm not really sure if he can deal a lot of damage. Duke gets a third for himself. He's going to fight a squad. This man, the big bad breach, old man with the broken arm, or rather with the mechanical arm, can actually pull off some frags over there. And he did so. Duke with 2 kills, with in fact 4 kills of his own. And the second round for Team Exceeli. Once again, an early lead to work with. Team Enigma Gaming, they've got the lead in the first map, to be honest, Universe. And right now it's Exceeli who's got the first lead. But well,
Yep.
first buy coming in from Enigma Gaming, and they can actually bring that back pretty comfortably.
Indeed, with this first buy, Rawfield has got an operator in his hand, so that's going to give him a little bit something to work with. RVK has walled up towards the B side. Sorry, forgive me, A side. That's going to give him a little bit of time to play with, and here comes the force. RVK finds the kill onto Fancy, and shoves, is trying to find a return frag, but that's not going to be the case. RVK's pushed up heavy, and he wants to take these fights. Rawfield's going to find Zolo on the other side, as the entire side of Exceeli are finding it a little difficult to try and get on the side. Sammy is going to be the first one, and he's going to run towards his teammates yet again as he picks up a Spectre. RVK comes to fight him, to no avail. 3 versus 3. Exceeli Esports, 2 of them are really low, and the Sage right now does not even have the heal available. So This is where the sky would be probably a lot more preferable, but Hika, he takes down Duke and he struggles against shoves. That's gonna bring him down to 2 HP. That is unfortunate. Hika could have finished that one off as Enigma are in a little bit of a pickle in their buy round. Rafiel holding down this angle towards B main as he does not want to give up anything.
Right beneath you, Rafiel. Right underneath you. Rafiel actually checks the right angle. He anticipates the player coming in. Easy frag as shoes. Slowly peeks out and surrenders in front of the operator of Rafiel. Once again, an early start for this man. You want him to gonna go early. Sammy the wide peaks.
10 seconds left.
Takes Rafiel down. It's a 1v1. Can Team Exceeli plant the spike? I'm pretty sure RBK is gonna be a pain in there. In that process, he does plant the spike, but RBK puts a bullet in his brain, and that's about it. Team Enigma, they get their first round on board, and it's 2-1, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure next round, these guys, they're going to reinvest in some more weapons. I'm not really sure if they can get that much money, but yeah, they did win the round, so they're going to get some. If they do reinvest and they can get their full arsenal, they can get the full kit available to them, I'm pretty sure it can be level terms. It was just a bonus round for Team Exceeli as well, so they've got nothing to worry about. But I like what Exceeli have been doing. Like, their bridge approach is nice. They've been able to take over sites pretty comfortably. Something crazy happened in this round. I mean, they probably were a little confused which site to hit. They got themselves huddled up outside B. They got a few players in A as well, and it was a little lackluster in terms of the general approach of things. But once again, these players, they're starting to kind of build up that movement towards the A side a little bit. No real progression, no real map control and real estate to work with, but yeah, just a general movement in that direction. Sammy's position will be tagged right now. Sammy is yet to be spotted, but here it comes, a Rolling Thunder right off the bat. This is interesting.
Oh, Rolling Thunder to counter it, and here comes Exceeli. Fancy finds two, and it's gonna be Zolo to add on to that. Rafiel coming on the backstab a little too quick, and the operator's not going to be able to adjust to that. Wow. As a flawless round comes in for Exceeli. And they're going to be demonstrating their dominance on a map that, well, they haven't seen Enigma play before, but they're taking control. So far, so good. 3-1. And they've put Enigma yet again on an eco. Enigma need to consider their options, because every time the side of Exceeli find wins like that, it's just gonna give a little bit more doubt in the minds of Enigma whether have they made the right choice of picking Fracture as their map.
Probably. Rafiel does have his knives out. Freaks though tucked in this corner. We'll be waiting for Rafiel to peek out. Oh no! Missed out a couple of shots, but still manages to recover over there, finding 2 frags. Duke will trade up for his fallen teammate. It's a 2v4 right now, especially with so many players, especially with so many guns. It should be easy for Exceeli. Should keep it clean though. Can't really afford to drop on a lot of guns and give away Enigma Gaming a room to work with. Spike goes down. All these players will try and go back to their positions. Antidote. Exactly the thing that we talked about. 2 players lost, 2 guns dropped. Economy. It's a real key in this game. Zolo crazy, putting the final nail in the coffin. That's about it. RVK is about to go down. Exceeli Esports, 4th round for them. Wow, crazy stuff actually.
Yeah, indeed, crazy stuff. Exceeli Esports have taken the lead, which I don't think the side of Enigma expected to happen in this way, because 4-1, and Exceeli have a really good grasp of this map. Clearly, they're having to execute some sort of avenues that are working in their favor in terms of what you would expect to be methodical, slow pushes. They're not really going for these all-out executes, like, rushing straight in. They're taking care of every single corner. They're letting the Killjoy take care of the one side of the map while the others push up towards the other. Here we go yet again. A lot of people towards the A main side of things, while there's the Killjoy holding on towards Dish. Clearing at every single angle, and Rexy under heaven with this one-way cage. Looks to be a little bit of a menace, but I'm not quite sure they're going to fall for it. They know he's around here. This is going to be a difficult one for Enigma.
For sure it is going to be difficult. Rexy though, Opens it up. The wall comes in, takes in a lot of bullets through the woodworks. It can use the cyber cage to his advantage. All that work. Okay, Rafael missing a lot of shots. Something which is very unlikely. Sammy putting Rexy to his bed. A lot of trades happening, a lot of utilities flying in as well as Team Exceeli Esports. They find their way in, they plant the spike, but a retake looks really probable. It's a 3v3 right now. Flash does come in. 2 players inside side, 1 player holding down main. It's gonna be interesting as the snake bite goes in, try and clear out those corners, trying to force out the players, and Shoe Shriek will react to it. Here it goes. Hika will bring him down. Sammy gets a third for himself, but Hika finds one. Duke in a 1v2 situation. The flash does dissipate him. Hika finding a quad kill for him. I mean, it was so weird that the flash got the better of him, considering that he knew that the flash might come in. He probably expected that, but even then he just couldn't really react to it. Hika was so low on HP. A general blow in his direction could have taken him out, but well, what's done, it's done. Duke couldn't really survive on that 1v2 as Exceeli Esports, they give away the second round to Enigma Gaming, and now they're 4 ultimates online.
Yep. 2 for Enigma as they pull out a round that they really desperately needed for them to at least somewhat salvage this half, because 1-5 would have been really bad, and 2-4 sounds a little bit better. But that doesn't throw out Exceeli yet, because they still have a bye. And they're moving in yet again towards a 2 players this time towards Dish, while the remaining 3 are coming in from main. They're still a little cautious. They're holding down really deep. They're just waiting for these players from drop to come down, as Zolo has cleared up a lot of angles. He knows that there's a player under heaven. I think he should expect it. But the camera from Rexy here is of a top-notch angle. He can cover both main and drop if need be. But it's going to be taken down by Sammy. And they move into the site now. Those tripwires are going to stop him. And that's a great setup by Rexy as he finds a kill. Antidote adds onto it. Zolo is not allowed to even drop down from above. They will take control of the A site. They will get the plant down. Shoves is going to do it. But Rafael takes down Duke. And Fancy's been stunned. And there's nothing that the side of Exceeli are able to do. Is a well-executed, beautiful round from the side of Enigma. A flawless one.
Yeah, Fancy stuck between a rock and a hard place. RVK coming in from the backstab will put a bullet in his brain and take him out of his miseries. 3rd round for Team Enigma Gaming, and suddenly a good lead which looked like for Team Exceeli has been kind of dissipated, has been neutralized. Enigma Gaming just 1 round trailing by. And I'm pretty sure they can cover this really soon. A timeout for side of Team Exceeli Esports. Now, they must be considering few things, right? Their aggression is working fine. They're trying to make something happen in the A side. Their B side take hasn't really been that fruitful, but the A side brilliance has been top notch. They've been able to pinch down the defenders from both the angles, but then at certain stages, when they run down the clock a little too much, they kind of fall in their own trap a little bit. They try and slow things down so much they can't really make it in time, and then start rushing in, which eventually results in their downfall. Now, this is something which they got to kind of understand and work together. The players who come in from bridge, the players who come in from dish, and the players who come in from main have to time their aggression perfectly. If one team slows down, the other team will be automatically slowed down as well, which basically means you waste time in trying to maneuver. These things are probably going to be the basics of Fracture moving down the line. But yeah, Exceeli Esports, they've done well. They can just do much better considering how they've played so far. Their gun game is super on point though. And Enigma Gaming, they've done everything perfectly. I feel like few players have just rose to the occasion. Rexy, for that matter, the Cypher, we doubted the abilities. We doubted how much a tripwire can do. And we just saw over there. Perfect deployment, perfect setup over there. The camera just top notch. Holding down one side all by himself. What do you want?
Oh boy. Okay. Now they're moving in towards B. You can see it. 4 players are there, while the one breach is maybe going to go in for a fake towards A, send out a fault line, and just make them a little aware. Enigma. You can see that Antidote is playing on a little bit of a rotational role. He's still towards his spawn side, so he's probably going to be the rotator towards both the sides. As there is a small little tech process that's coming from the side of Enigma. Now, if this goes 4-4, which could be a possibility, and after that, it's going to be probably an eco for the side of Exceeli, or they can probably afford a semi-buy of sorts. There's a lot of possibilities as to how this half could turn out, and I'm betting on this that this is probably going to be the first 6-6 half. I think this should be 6-6 just because of the fact that it's going so close between these two teams. 7-5 or 6-6, it's not going to be anything. No other scoreline that's going to be remotely possible that's going to be separating these teams. And now that we have, you know, this Enigma setup that's looking a lot more confident, it looks like they're raring to go to take the lead. And now things seem to be ready. We will be jumping in real soon. Unfortunately, one of the players has gone AFK. Grabbing some water, grabbing some Red Bull, as you should be too. This is the time you should get it. Scan that QR code when it pops up, ladies and gentlemen. Get that Red Bull, and you're gonna have the energy the same as these players.
I love how this man brings up segues to sponsors.
Hey, I mean,
love it. It's smooth as butter. It just flows in. It just flows in.
It's part of my job description, you know.
I'm
good. I'm good like that. I'm good with, you know, just segueing into stuff, especially when it's sponsors. Well, because hey, honestly, I like Red Bull, so I love Red Bull. I drink Red Bull quite often. You should too. Scan the QR code to get it.
Oh boy. Well, the timer seems to be moving. The clock is ticking as well. 10 seconds before this round kicks in. 3-4 if you don't really remember. And if you just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, the first map was won by Enigma Gaming instead of a hard-fought fight from Exceeli Esports. They just clutched out a few rounds right at the end, at the fag end of the game once again. Look at this, though. The wall separating two worlds. Enigma Gaming, 2 players. Right in front of 2 of Team Exceeli Esports. Wow, that was close. But thankfully, they didn't really fight against each other. Probably now they would. Solo Crazy and Freaks right in front of each other. Solo Crazy looking in the wrong direction. Okay, easy frag for Freaks. Solo was caught with his pants down, couldn't really help over there. The smoke comes out as well. Antidote will be tasked with holding down this entire region. Here he comes. Gravity well deployed perfectly. But the dash, oh my god, Sammy, how did he manage to survive that? Rexy though, trades for him, but shoves his head. Find another trade. A lot of trades going back and forth. This Rawfield tries to make his way into sight. Will be destroyed completely.
Right there.
And just like that, in a matter of seconds, the side was broken open, the spike was planted, and the team was completely wiped out. Extinction, ladies and gentlemen. Final destination 5. It's more like destroyed in seconds.
Indeed. Now it is 3-5. Exceeli find the lead, and they're gonna have a bit of a breathing space now. They did not want to give it up. They're not going to. Now that Enigma are on a buy still available to them, but it's still barely. 3 of them are on half half armors. Rawfield still has his operator available. RVK has been spotted out. Zolo saw him, pretty sure. Giving out some sound cues, and he wins that duel onto Fancy. But Zolo's gone past, and he will find the kill onto Antidote. And immediately traded back yet again. Hika finds him. As Exceeli have a man down now, but they still have 3 ultimates, and one of them is a revival. Shoves could be using it, but both of his teammates are far away. He needs to go to the other side of the map to get at least one of them up, and that has to be Fancy. And I'm 100% sure that RVK knows this. And that's exactly why he's just still lingering on over there. You can see it. They're going. 2 of them have crossed onto the rope side on the other side so that they can get this revive up. RVK This is all on him. This is all on him. He hears them coming.
Will not
Here comes up the revive. He knows there's players on the other side. He's not going to peek it. He's going to be smart as all of them try to go underground maybe. And here comes Hika. It's RVK to get that one, but only just a one. Sammy, he dashes into his own death, and that's going to be the spike going down. Rafuel takes care of Duke. And this ultimate from Fancy, well, it's going to help him take the spike, but nothing more. Because as soon as it goes off, both the players are going to come out. There's no time. They know that Fancy has to go for the plant.
10 seconds left.
And the minute he does, they're going to get a kill onto him pretty easily. Oh no, the time's gone past. He does not. Now they don't even need to fight him. Rafuel's just going to escape out of there. As Fancy, he tried to go in for the fake to find both of these kills, but he finds only one. And Rafuel staying alive was all that Enigma needed to win that round. Beautiful stuff from Enigma, but it kind of got a little too close.
Yeah, too close for comfort over there. Especially with the Fancy tasked with a 1v2 situation. You know that these players from Exceeli Esports, they know how to clutch rounds. They know how to kind of, you know, change rounds which aren't really in their favor and bring them back for their team. Especially players like Fancy and Zolo Craze. These guys are insane when it comes to clutching. But it's a very similar storyline universe. It's more like the map of Haven where the scoreline was going back and forth and back and forth. It's once again, it's a 5v4 situation. No, shot missing. Right between the two players. Rafuel will be falling back, but Antidote is holding the doors. Will be tasked with a lot more though. Needs to deploy the gravity well as well as smokes. Rafuel spots down Zolo Crazy napping. Takes him down comfortably. His Antidote drops down, trying to kind of overextend. Takes down Duke, gets traded as well. 3v4, in fact make it 2v4 as Sammy finds Antidote.
Okay. Alright, Rafuel.
That man was tagged. But Rafuel had the balls to actually go through the wall, disrespecting it. RBK on the backlines is gonna find Sammy as well. 5-5 Enigma. They cash back Exceeli Esports. In Exceeli Esports, they aren't really running away with it. It's a race which is really hard fought in both the teams. They're actually going neck and neck at this point. Very evenly matched contest, I must say. I mean, in spite of the new map, in spite of like agent selections, yeah, I'm liking it. I am liking it, to be honest. We've seen the Sage Wall kind of been deployed a couple of times now. I'm not really sure how useful that has been for the team, but yeah, that's one way to deploy the Sage Wall, I guess, especially in attack.
Oh, Rafuel, just as good as ever. Tags Fancy, just a little bit though, not too much. He's close to half HP. And here's the flash that is gonna push them away a little bit as Ika tries to go a little closer. He needs to be careful as well. The wall comes in and he gets behind it. As Rafuel is just playing around with his food right now. Enigma, they have the control of things right now. They know where these players are as well. They just need to be a little careful as two of them have actually rotated towards A with the spike. And that is going to be a problem. Duke takes out Antidote. And it's all up to RVK now to try and stop it. Rexy's rotating, but Fancy's found Hika on the side. RVK to stop the plan. It's not going to stop him, though. Duke's down really low, and he is going to go down. RVK eats a couple of bullets to his back, but he's still alive. The wall is going to allow a little bit time for the side of Exceeli to rejuvenate themselves in terms of positioning. But the Viper Spit is just going to make it confirm that they have what they want. And that's the entire A site. Zolo hiding close. He is holding down two different angles. He knows that there's one above him. Rafuel needs to find his first kill, and he's going to. It's all onto Zolo. A second one. Zolo with the 1v3. No, he's not going to get it. Rexy clutches it out. It's going to be Enigma to pull out number 6 and take the lead.
What a round it was. It was close. It for sure was close. I love the rotate coming in from Exceeli as well. They got the plant. They got the plant done. They got the site kind of taken over as well. But just a matter of time. Like they lost a lot of players, in fact, in the trade that happened in the initial burst of the retake. The ultimate was there from Zolo Crazy. He got 2 frags on the back of it, but Rexy just running havoc. He was like, W and mouse 1, and I'm gonna keep treading forward. I go marching ahead. He just marched his way for the kill. Like he got the kill, got the defuse, and he kept running and running. Nonetheless, we have another Viper Spade that has been committed by RVK.
Oh, Fancy still gets past it though, and he's gone under. But on the other side of things, we've got a fight brewing on the A site. And RVK, he's going to rotate over as Fancy. He's on a perfect backstab. Sammy's going to take down an antidote. 3v3 established, but still I think the hand of this round is in the side of Exceeli, as the backstab of Fancy works in the most fanciest manner, and that's left Rafuel in a 1v3. Saw one, he almost got the kill, but he has to work for Fancy first. He needs to get that kill, and he will. Picks up the Vandal, 1v2. Last round of the half, 6-6, looking really likely, and it is going to happen. As I expected, as most of us would have expected, it goes down with no difference between the two, and we go back to ground zero yet again.
It's been really close. Like, that's the best that I can say, honestly. Enigma just matching Team Exceeli every single time now. A lot of people might think that Enigma is actually playing catching up because it's mostly like Exceeli getting the lead and Enigma coming back from it and equalizing the scoreline, but I love the fact that Enigma have been doing this time and time again. Like, no matter how many times they've been on the back foot, they've always find a way to come back, and that is the way they kept themselves alive in the map of Haven. They don't let the opposition slip by. That is number one. And number two, when they get the opportunity themselves, they go on a counter-attack and they completely decimate the opposition. This looks like a fast execute towards the A side. Team Enigma, Rafuel is actually pushed up. He dashes in. Will take the first contact against Fancy. Here it comes. Shoves. Peeks out wide. Doesn't really get a lot of kills over there. Rafuel taps him. Fancy, the only player who is still holding down this side all by himself. Gets taken down by Antidote. Does get one kill though on the back of it, but here he comes.
Oh no!
Couldn't really do much over there. It whiffs a lot of shots. Symphony of whiffs. 2v3 right now. The attacking team have a lot of control, especially a lot of players healthy right now.
Antidote is going to survive there in that corner, but he wants to take the fight out to Sammy, who's tagged down to 27 HP, and he's the last one standing. Somehow finds Hika through that cage. Antidote closes up to him. Sammy, all he needs in his body is one bullet. At least one burst at least. And Antidote's waiting to give it to him. He did, but it did not connect. He's down really low, and Sammy could win this.
What
my god, 1 HP. 1 HP, that's all it is. Rexy needs to stay alive, and he gets the kill. That could have gone nastily bad for Enigma.
This man survives at 1 HP as well.
It's just, you know, it's a battle of 1 HPs. I think that last bullet connected through the wall, through the glass pane that was there. And I think that's why it hit him for 25. That's exactly why Rexy survived. Because if that bullet had not gone through the glass pane, I think Sammy would have won that duel because he shot him first, clearly.
Insane stuff right there. Insane stuff. Thanks by Team Enigma, they make the early lead count. They have the Spectres with them as well. Rexy kind of missing a lot of shots, but that's okay because he's like more like a diversion at this point. The entirety of the team, look at where the team is, right? They're waiting at spawn right now, waiting for Rexy to die. But that was more like a patriotic move for Exceeli because the rest of the teams, they're actually moving towards the B side completely open. That has enabled them. The diversion has actually enabled to find the side completely open right now. Duke takes down Antidote, almost killing him actually. 2v3 right now. Dropped a lot of weapons. Not really healthy for Enigma, to be honest, because they need to reinvest. No bonus round for them. RVK finds one more player left. Surviving for Exceeli Esports is going to be Freaks. Classic to work with. Not the best of ranges in the world. He does dink RVK, but that's not going to be enough as he sprays him down. 24 HP as this man survives it. 8-6 the score line. But a very opportunistic round for Exceeli Esports as they get a few kills. And that basically means that their economy is not going to steamroll out of competition. They're going to be able to find a few weapons this time around and might actually bring it back if they get this round now. Pretty sure it's still gonna be really close contested. Haven was 9-9, ladies and gentlemen, before Enigma started to unleash their brutality. Can Exceeli Esports kind of repeat the same feat? Can they make it 8-8 is what I want to know.
They probably can. If they win this one, they need to get the first kill. And there it is. Zolo finds it, throws in that snake bite. He probably will be taken down by Rafael, but Fancy and Duke are just going to add on to the kill feed. They get 2. And Rafael, he's blinded. He has a teammate available to him. Picks up the Spectre instead of the Spike. And now he's going backwards where Fancy's waiting for him. Sitting pretty, and that's going to be number 7 for the side of Exceeli as they hit back yet again. It's just been a matter of blow to blow now. It's like you give me one, I give you one right back. And that's all this game has been. Enigma have a full buy still available thanks to the bonus that was the last round. It's okay that they lost it, but this one is not going to be okay if they do. They need to win this one out.
Well, I love that line that he said. You give me one, I give you one. Two friends giving each other gifts.
I was talking about punches, but okay.
Here.
Yeah, understood. Sammy though, taking in flashes at the moment. Rafael will put a bullet right in his brain.
Oh,
a lot of flashes, but
that
Hika
was...
kind of putting an end to Duke. Team Enigma just doing a lot of heavy lifting here. Rexy tanking all the bullets from the turret. Fancy stuck in this corner. He's gonna survive this as well. He's gonna put a bullet in the brain of Rexy as well. 3v3 now locked on invested. Fancy is trying to create some space.
Oh, Rafael, I thought he saw Fancy, but he was more concentrating on the lockdown.
Spike down.
And Rafael's gonna take on even Zolo.
It's interesting. He goes in for that plant. He can't really you can't really bang him through the boxes right now. It's been hardened with sort of metal material, if I'm not mistaken, but it doesn't really matter. Shoes trying to walk his way towards.
No,
no! Antidote misses the shot. The grappling will doesn't really connect. Finally, he does connect an Enigma. They prevent Exceeli to actually making a comeback. They hold them back at 7 rounds. They're at 9, which means they still maintain that lead of 2 rounds. But this was close. This was too close for comfort, especially when Antidote missed that shot. I lost my heart. I skipped a beat.
Indeed. I think I did too. 9-7. This is exactly what was the scoreline in the previous map where Enigma had come back from the, barrel of 7. Can Exceeli do the same? Can they overturn this is the question. Chubbs is going for an aggressive wall, and that's going to shut out A main completely. And Enigma, there are 4 players on the back, 3 players on the back of it, and they're not making any sound, so that should give Exceeli a little bit of idea. And here's the push from Sammy, but Rexy takes down both of them, Fancy and Sammy. I don't know why these guys are pushing up like this, but they're not getting these kills in their favor. Those are not positions that's gonna, give them easy kills. Dry peaks. Unnecessary. As Rafael goes up, and he's gonna give up his life, but he's done more than enough of a job to keep his team in a position to put up double digits. 1 versus 3, Duke. Ultimate available. 2 flashes available, and I was gonna say that he has the aftershock available, but no more. Enigma take a grand lead of 3 points now, and they are gonna put the side of Exceeli onto an eco. Now, Salty, this is more than looking like a guaranteed number 11, and possibly number 12 on the back of it thanks to momentum, if at all. Do you think this might just be the end?
Can be the start of the end for sure. Not really counting out Team Exceeli. They've performed exceptionally in the first best of 3 series that they've played in this tournament so far, but it's like they're so close yet so far. Team Enigma, they've been able to take the game away from Exceeli right at the end, right at the fag end of the match itself. Duke trying to take this duel on the back of the Sheriff. A hand cannon that screams confidence. He spots those players out. Does have a flash available, but would not work over there. Rafael elsewhere finds the frag against Fancy. 9. Sammy puts an end to Rafael as well. RVK takes on Duke. There's a lot of praise going back and forth. 4v2 right now. Sammy is in position as well. And as always, Team Enigma on the lead. Antidote putting an end to Sammy. That basically means it's only Freaks who'll be tasked with a 1v4. Almost got the headshot, but nah, it's a team ace. It's Enigma who wipe it clean against Exceeli Esports. And just like you mentioned, Universe, it's the 11th on board for them.
Yep, it wasn't eco, so it was expected. 1 or 2 kills at the max that could have gone down to the favor of Exceeli, but about it. Number 11 looking at number 12 coming up in just a little bit, given if this round goes in their favor. Enigma are in cruise control right now, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to have absolutely no problem. Even if they lose out one round, they have a good enough economy. They can buy in. Rexy can drop in for his teammates, and so can RVK. And if you look at the overarching storyline, even if they lose out the next 2, it's still going to be okay. They can still buy in. And that is something that we need to consider, because Exceeli, their economy, they lose this, it's done. It's over. Because match point, and they're going to have a desperate buy of Spectres and whatnot. There's nothing more we can do after that. And that's basically the end of the line right there. 2-0, and they're going to be heading down to the lower brackets. But if they need to make that not happen, then they need to make a comeback starting right now and see us through on Icebox. And the only way they can do that is by stopping I think one player that they need to really, really stop right now. It has to be Rafuel, obviously. If they stop Rafuel, Enigma are gonna get their attacking power cut down by not even 1/5, not 1/5, half. Because Rafuel is the one guy who dashes into the side. He finds the spaces, he finds the kills. He's on 19 kills right now himself, top of the server. If he stopped, Enigma are going to have a little bit more of a difficult time trying to execute their site executes, because most of it revolves around Rafuel dashing in, Rafuel throwing down this smoke, Rafuel finding this space, and then the people enter in. But if Rafuel's not even there in the equation, then who's going to go in? That has to be the question, because there's 2 smokers. The Viper can go in definitely, right? Because she, a little bit more versatility in the way that she handles her utility kit, because she can activate it on the touch of a button. She doesn't really need to go to a yoga mode or something like that to put down the smoke. But yeah, if Rafuel is taken care of, if they realize where exactly he's hitting, fight him as a team together, because you can see that he comes with utility, but he comes alone most of the times. He's followed up, yeah, for sure, but he's followed up at least a second or 2 later. There's at least a 1 or 2 second gap between him rushing into the site and the next person coming in, right? There's only a couple of times where he's supported by Hika. Let's move back into the game and let's have a look at how exactly they're going to handle this, because Exceeli, I'm pretty sure they know this. They know this really well, that Rafuel is the problem right now, and killing him is going to be the answer to everything that's been troubling them.
Rafuel has been the problem since the start of the game itself. Not just the fracture map, but also the map of Haven as well. Sammy trying to kind of take down the trip while trying to understand what the attacking team is trying to do. In fact, they're trying to pinch them from 2 sides. I mean, nothing really surprising, right? We have a Cypher and a Viper. Kind of poetic, but Sammy actually takes an RVK. The first player to go down. You've talked about Rafuel. Instead, it's going to be RVK who has been taken down. That's at least a player down. That is at least a man advantage that has been established. The Viper's pit is going to be problematic for them, because they're still trying to make their way towards the B side. They're not rotating. They're not giving into the pressure. Rexy takes down Duke.
Oh, no.
Fancy's going to go down as well. Team Enigma.
Exceeli.
They kept pressuring on, right? They didn't really give into that Viper's pit and that supposed fallback. And Team Exceeli Esports, they were caught napping. Sammy, it's a 1-for-1 trade for this man. Hika though.
One enemy remaining.
All these players fighting players, not really looking at them, and finally, some way, Team Exceeli managed to come back. It was probably like what, a 2v. It was something like a 3v4.
No, it was a 2v3 in the end, where Rafuel, Antidote, and Hika were all 3 alive. Rafuel was still looking down and trying to find out if somebody's coming towards Canteen. That was a Sage. But Shoves, he took down Antidote. And after that, the Heaven kill came in onto Raw Fuel, and that was going to be it. The sneaking in through the Viper Spit did not really help them as much. And number 8 for Exceeli is going to allow them to survive for another round as they look for more. Towards A main, they have a heavy commitment, but nobody from Enigma's there. They're going towards B. Duke is already rotated, and Sammy holding down towards Arcade with the operator is going to be a little bit of a problem.
Sammy just waiting patiently. I'm pretty sure he isn't peeking. Rexy almost about to make an error. Yes, he does. Peeks out. Takes that risk against Sammy and succumbs to his brilliance. He gets away with murder. That's 1 kill in his bag already. Exceeli on way. In fact, en route to making a comeback. But can they confirm it? Can they finish what they started? That's a question. Fault lines coming in, all the smokes here, and here it comes. The main utility, the Rolling Thunder, which can aid their entry into side. All these players start funneling in. Raw Fuel, brilliant stuff by him, takes on Fancy. Duke does have a Rolling Thunder of his own ready as well. Here it comes. There's Astral Divide, there's Viper Spade, there's Rolling Thunders invested. It's an ultimate frag fest right now. So crazy in behind, he gets an antidote. Antidote didn't get a first for himself. It's an absolute madman's game. These guys playing
Raw Fuel.
Astral Divide. So crazy fine Raw Fuel. 2v2.
Player standing.
Viper and... Okay, so it's a battle of Vipers right now. RVK doesn't really have the spike in front of him. He tries to go for it. Zolo Crazy might actually find the frag, trying to buy time, but this can be problematic.
Oh, RVK!
Jump down at Zolo Crazy. Zolo Crazy didn't even expect that to happen.
Point.
He really thought with the time remaining that he's going to think that RVK is going to go straight for the plant, but RVK and his big brain made him go behind him. He jumped down, gave away the sound cue, didn't even care because he knew he had to take the fight immediately. And what a way to win the round. A Breach and Viper fight in the end, 2v2 and 1v1. And clearly the Viper diff has set in.
Wow. That was some round to be honest, but this time we have a lot of progression happening as well. You can see that the players are still rotating, trying to make their way in. The attackers haven't really found a lot of room for them. Enigma trying to take things slow. Rexy just chilling on the ropes right now. No real movement. Breaking the wall should be a priority, and they've done it. Enigma Gaming trying to kind of create a diversion in the east side, but that is not where they headed at. They're falling back, but there's a backstab already in position. That can be kind of problematic. If Fancy gets away with 1 or 2 kills right now, he would have done his job already. Antidote. Gives away a little bit of footwork over there. A little bit of sound cues for Fancy to work with. They check all the corners. They take down Fancy, and that's basically the side wide open. Sammy,
Sammy!
Oh my god, with the chef! This man puts an end to it. He's like, shut up, bro, Rawfield. You've been too nosy. Shoes though, just waiting. Sheriffs to work with, just like you mentioned. It's gonna be a little difficult. Zolo Crazy on a Hero Phantom, probably on a Retrieved Phantom. Kind of doing a lot of heavy lifting. Shoes gets another one. RVK is down on Riz. Here it is. Zolo Crazy making it work, but Rexy puts an end to him. And finally, Team Exceeli Esports on an equal round make it work. 12-9 the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody expected this.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the end. I really thought that was going to be the end. And now Enigma and an Eco, they are going to let it go to number 10. Or if they pull out a Thrifty themselves to win it, you never know what Enigma are going to do. But so far, it's looking like number 10 is inevitable for the side of Exceeli, and that's a fighting chance, and that's all they need. Let's have hope. Let's have a little bit of confidence. All of that needs to be running in their minds right now, the side of Exceeli. Raw Fuel, he wants the first kill. He's not going to get it. Sammy finds him walking slowly into that orb. This is going to be an easy kill for him. Enigma have lost one of their best. And now it's a task for the rest.
Toxins going up.
Antidote goes down. Fancy pushing up. Exceeli have a little bit more confidence. They're not giving up as much as they would want to. And they're taking control of everything. Solo is as crazy as his name says. He is being absolutely influential player for them right now. And Rexy, the last man standing, well, the max he can hope for is maybe 1 kill, but Zolo's not going to give him even that. It's going to be number 10, as expected, and Enigma now need to shut down this map. If they don't do it now, we might as well see overtime.
Probably. I'm not really sure if Team Enigma have a full buy for themselves. Yeah, they do. They actually do this. It's just one light shield that they have, but on the other camp, we basically have all maxed out utility. We have Phantoms and Vandals, we have heavy shields, we have a bank of cash as well to work with, to fall back upon, but that cash is not really going to be useful. If they lose one more round, it's basically done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Their backs are against the wall. One more round, Team Enigma just run away with the best of 3 series. Rawfield finds the first frag on his Zolo. Crazy. That's one man down. That's the defensive side kind of taking a suffer right there. Rawfield trying to make his way in. Fault line coming in as well. Rexy on the back lines trying to wait for anybody who tries to kind of make some sort of a funny business.
Look at the timing on Rexy's backstab. He's easily going to find the kill into Fancy, as the plan will go down on Hika, and ended up found Fancy himself. Here comes the neural theft, and Shoves is going to get 1. Make that 2. A Duke for a 3rd. It's a 2v2 right now, and Antidote needs to be the hero. He's not going to connect the shot. It's up to RVK. RVK is the only one standing, and he needs to not let these defuse go through. Because if he does, it's game over. And there it is. Overtime is looking almost unstoppable at this point. Exceeli pull out an amazing round.
Team Enigma, Team Enigma, Team Enigma. What have you done? What have you done? In fact, it's Exceeli Esports. How could they clutch it away from that position? You talked about the pincer. The Cypher was in perfect position. Rexy should have done so much over there, but the breach flash just dismantled his confidence. I love the fact that there were 3 players on site. I love the fact that there was 1 in the backstab. I love the fact that everybody from Exceeli Esports was sandwiched right in between them, but right about you when you were looking for a fairy tale ending, Enigma, there comes a beast and destroys everything. Once again, a very slow progression. Rexy towards B main, Viper in bridge near the dish area. Meanwhile, 3 players trying to break the A main wall and trying to move forward. I'm not really sure what the plan is. I'm probably thinking that Rexy will okay.
Shoves. He could have gotten that kill on to Rawfield. He's tagged him a little low though, but still, that's not enough to stop the beast. Duke is in a good off angle. And they're just gonna be a little bit away, crosshairs away from each other. And Sammy's gonna take down Antidote walking in towards the deserted area. Duke takes down Rawfield. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Overtime is pretty much looking like it's going to come into play now. Hika will take down Duke, and he's looking for more through that Viper wall, but he's not going to find anything. The fault line comes in. Here goes down the plan. 3v4.
Spike planted.
As the side of Enigma, they have some sort of a game plan to work with. And that's just to hold, defend, play it out, time it out as much as you can.
Can they prevent this retake from happening? It's all or nothing for Exceeli Esports. This is what they wanted. They wanted to have a chance, and here they get it. It's gonna be difficult though. A rolling thunder versus a lockdown. Sammy, these players jumping in the air.
Oh,
One
no,
flash,
Hika!
Hika by the third of his own.
It's over! No! They've done it!
Time.
Player standing.
Even the frags always wouldn't be able to do anything much. RBK just finding, they're just sitting there crazily. It's all done and dusted. Hika pulling it off.
What a win!
What a clutch. Hika just stands and delivers. He just stood there, took down 3 players. He took down 3 players over there. The flashes, the rolling thunders, everything. The utility was perfect. And what more could you expect? It was a 3v4. Mind it was a 3v4. The situation was so heavily favoring Exceeli. And Hika was standing inside all by himself. flashing left, flashing right, rolling thunder comes in.
Everything.
That's basically it.
You know, that's what I keep saying about the breach utility. Once you have all of it available, it's not just damage, it's not just concussion, it's not just blinding, it's time wasting. And that does so much because we saw two of those players that was, I think it was Sammy and Shoves, who got affected by
Yeah.
the breach ultimate. They jumped in the air, so they couldn't move for a couple of seconds. They just had to stick it. That's more seconds. The time's ticking, the clock's running, and it's just the spike is just ticking right down. And then Hiccup blinds, finds one kill, struggles to get the second, but he still connects it. And by the time that the Viper could come into the site, RVK's job was more done because he didn't need to do it. Time was his friend by that point, and he said thank you. And all he did was pull out his knife and wait for Victory to come and take over with the spike blasting all over him. That was the victory celebration as Enigma take this series 2-0, move further on to the brackets in the upper brackets. As we head into match highlights, we'll have a look at what exactly went down in the map of Fracture. To be honest, in the beginning, it looked like in the beginning, it looked like Fracture was maybe looking like Exceeli were okay with it. They looked comfortable. They had a lead of 4-1. Then after that, Enigma hit back immediately. They had, control taken back. They went blow for blow. And still, Exceeli didn't look like they were losing out on too much. Just the half ended 6-6. And that's exactly, I think, what, Enigma would have wanted. I think they would have wanted to finish off 6-6. That's the best scoreline they could have hoped for, given that, they were 5-3 down at a point. And after the second half started, Enigma just gave out a show till the match point came in. And after that, there were a bit of contusions. Well, we could see it because they lost a couple of rounds. It came down to 13-11 to finish it off. But Exceeli, I got to give them respect, man. They put on a really great show.
Exactly. I mean, you look at the best of 3 series, you would probably look at the score and look at 2-0, and you would be like, "Oh, this was an easy victory for Enigma Gaming. They just completely whitewashed Exceeli Esports." But you look at the games, right? You look at the matches, you would realize how neck and neck it has been. Like even the 13-9 scoreline map, the map of Haven, was very evenly contested. Every single round coming out to be a 1v1. Every single round being, a 1vx situation for a clutcher. Very evenly fought in terms of tactical awareness, very similar approach to the game as well. And when it actually came to Fracture as well, we thought this would be kind of like an error show. A lot of these teams, considering they aren't really experienced on this map, they would make a lot of errors in terms of their approach. But we didn't really see much of it, Universe. I feel like the teams were more comfortable playing this map, and Exceeli Esports, well, for them, it just didn't plan out. It just didn't pan out as expected, as planned. They did give up. They did put up a very great fight. I'm pretty sure about it. I mean, you look at the way they've fought till the end. It was just like you mentioned, a 13-11. It was 12-9 at one point, and they still got back 2 rounds. From the edge of death, from the brink of death, they were like still fighting, still not giving in. And in spite of all of that, they've done so much. I just couldn't really reach the end of it all. I said it's more like so close yet so far, and that's kind of like a similar storyline in this one as well.
Yeah. Enigma Gaming, they took on a little bit of a time to let this map go in, but their detailed and slow approach all actually helped them to try and understand how to counter Exceeli better. And they did that 2 maps in a row itself. As soon as it came down to those double-digit numbers rounds, around 9-7, 9-8, they sort of went into this cruise control mode where they're like, okay, we're going to take every single round now. And they went on and they took number 11, they took number 12, and Exceeli, even though they came up to the very last midpoint of winning it, they had everything in their favor. They had man advantage. It was just Hika's utilities that honestly clustered around. Enigma will move ahead in the upper bracket with a 2-0 victory. And this is going to be Exceeli's life in the balance in the tournament of TEC Showdown. They're going to have to fight every match as if it's their last.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, losing your first game in the tournament isn't probably the best way to go forward, but I'm pretty sure the way they've put up a fight, this should give them a lot of encouragement. Enigma Gaming isn't really an easy team to beat. To be honest, they are like, you consider them to be one of the best in the country, if not the best. Which basically means they exceeded expectations to the very least. You look at the highlight this time around. Hika, one flash, it completely blinds two players. And why did it blind the two players? It's because the Rolling Thunder bought them enough time. The players from the defending team who were on a retake situation, they were kind of all flabbergasted. They were like, okay, we're out in the air right now. We're jumping in the air, basically. A lot of time has already been spent in kind of recovering from it as well. We need to make this quick. We need to make this fast. And that's one of the reasons why they dropped their shields. They dropped their, I would say, guard, and basically go like, okay, guys, we got to do it. And that is exactly when the flash comes in. These players, they're caught off guard. The flash blinds every single player. And in spite of Hika kind of missing a few shots on, I believe, the Sage it was, he still found the frag. And just like you mentioned, as this entire storyline ended, RVK didn't really have anything much to do because the spike, well, the timer had already run out. And that's basically it.
Indeed. And just like the timer ran out for them, it's run out for us here at the Showdown event as well. That is pretty much what we had in store for you today. But we are going to have a look at the overall recap as to what exactly happened in this match, as we will have a little bit of a talk about how Enigma are going to play this later with the map recap screen coming up now. And the thing is, if you have to consider how exactly it all is going to turn out for Enigma further on going into this, if I remember the brackets correctly, I think they're going to be facing one of the teams, either Global Esports, I believe. Is it going to be Global Esports? We have to look at the brackets for that. I think
No. They're probably going to face Exploit.
No,
Exploit is probably gonna face Paper X.
Yes.
I completely forgot. I guess they're gonna play somebody. We'll have a look at the brackets. My memory is as bad as you know.
Yeah, they're gonna face somebody. That's for sure. Oh, that wasn't a given at all. Oh, I was like, oh, okay. Enigma won out the first match. Oh, they're getting a bye straight through. Okay, finals. There it is. They're facing somebody. Okay, that is all right. I mean, we're just gonna wait for it. But to be honest, if you look at this situation right here, right, do you think that Enigma is going to be able to beat teams like Alter Ego and Paper Rex if they do face them?
I mean, completely blind. Once again, a curveball. Enigma are playing well, but Paper X and Alter Ego is that's gonna be tough. We have a look at the map recap once again, ladies and gentlemen. Haven was really well fought, 39 the score, and it was 9-9 before Enigma Gaming started to steamroll out of competition. They found their form really late in that game, to be honest, but in Fracture it was 13-11, even closer, even hard fought. Like, it once again was a similar storyline. It was 9-9 when I believe Enigma Gaming just got form and they went to like 12-9, and then suddenly Exceeli Esports like, we're not gonna give in, right? We're gonna make a comeback. They got back 2 more rounds, but that's about it. Just when it was time to kind of make it to overtime, a 1v1 situation just going their way. Hika clutching out in a 1v3 situation. Perfect as Team Enigma. They win this best of 3 series against Exceeli Esports in 2-0 fashion, but I must say, Enigma Gaming, they did win the game, but Exceeli Esports, they did win hearts.
True. I am going to agree with that for sure. Exceeli Esports, they did their best and they pulled out a great performance that honestly, you just couldn't have asked for more. You could have asked for more. They would have wanted more, but it just wasn't going to be the case. And Enigma, well, they're going to be really happy with this victory. Going on further, we're going to have to wait and see how exactly their journey is going to shape out. As, the one thing that we can always consider at, the TEC is that there's always surprises, always surprises. And what surprises are going to be, transpiring up tomorrow, day after, the day after that? Oh, we don't know, but we're going to be here every single day of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the brackets before we head on out of today's matchup. And you can see, Enigma are going to be facing Bleed Esports. Right, okay, got it. My bad. Yeah, so that's somebody. Bleed
somebody.
Somebody, yeah. Who, Bleed? Yeah, that's just somebody.
They're not a bad somebody, to be honest. They're like a pretty big somebody. Bleed.gg.
Yeah, well.
Somebody, guys.
Yeah, somebody. And you can see in the lower brackets, Exceeli are waiting in the lower bracket 1. And who is going to be facing them is going to be either Paper Rex or Exploit. Now that is going to be a little bit of a
Oh my god.
well, that's going to be a bit of a match. Exceeli, well, they're just in a really tight spot. That's just bad for them. Whereas Lexius are going to be facing either one of Bleed Esports or Enigma. Now
Yeah.
that's another match that that's going to be a more interesting one. Who's going to come down? Who's going to go further? Because tomorrow is going to be absolutely crazy, dude. Tomorrow we're going to have Velocity playing against Louver, and we're going to have Paper X against the side of Exploit. Now, I don't really know the schedule. I don't know if Global Esports and Alter Ego are going to be playing tomorrow, but whatever is going to be happening tomorrow, they're going to be two big matches, and I just can't wait for it. And we're going to have to call it ends right now, ladies and gentlemen, as we've had a pretty long day, and it's been a great two matches, but this is just the start of the showdown. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more fights. This is the AMD presents the Esports Gauntlet. Esports Club Showdown. Sorry, I've been casting a lot of gauntlets. I've been stuck with that.
It actually comes right next to us. I mean, Gauntlet is going to start right now almost. So yeah.
Don't
Understandable.
get me wrong for that. The Gauntlet's going to be starting in about 10 minutes. We're going to be there. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the showdown, and we hope you're going to, love everything that's going to be coming in the days to come. There's a lot of matches. There's a lot of action. Don't go anywhere. We're going to present to you the best Valorant action available. Just hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell icon to know every time these juggernauts go against each other online. And we're going to be here presenting it to you. Thank you for watching. Have a good night and happy gaming.